All right, here we go. So I work in a home improvement store, and this guy comes in and he points to the price tag and he goes, "This was $3.99 last week." And I go, "Yeah, the sale ended on the 2nd, so you missed that sale." And he goes, "So why does this say that this sale is here?" And I go, "Because corporate says so." Like, I don't get to wave a magic wand and change the price of whatever I want. And he goes, well, no, you have this price over here and this price is right here. I go, yeah, that's the new sales price of the item. And it's just a cheapo range. And he goes, okay. And he flips up the tag and he goes, well, why does this say that this is the price? And then you're selling it for this much. And I'm like, because that's the way corporate works. They do their thing. They give us tags. We put them up. If they don't give us tags, we don't put them up. And he goes, oh, so that's what you're going to give me? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm giving you. And so he asked to see a manager, and I'm just like, whatever. Get the manager over there, and they start talking, and I start helping other customers. And he comes back, and he goes, okay, you might need to do an override. I'm going to give this guy the $3.99. And I'm like, fuck. It's like, you bitch. So I take my sweet time because a lady called in earlier and she was she had ordered a microwave that was supposed to come in, and I just happened to find one that wasn't due to anyone anymore, so I just gave her that one. She was on her way in to pick it up, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go get it for you. And then I dealt with this guy. So I went to go pull the microwaves for the guy, and I saw the one. I'm like, I'll pull that one first. Like, fuck that guy. So I go up and I pull it down, and then I got stopped by a customer, and then I went back to what I was doing, pulled it up, put it on the cart, brought it over. And then with ranges, you got to get this heavy equipment and move it on over. And you need 2 people for it. So you got to block off aisles, then move the thing in position, go up, pull it off, drop down, remove all the blocks you had up. And I'm like, yeah, I think I can wait a little bit longer. So I get stopped by another customer, and then I go up and I'm like, sorry it took so long to get there. I had to get the heavy equipment. He's like, oh, that's fine. And I'm just sort of like, yeah, whatever, just passive aggressive on this guy. I'm not gonna pay 2 minds. And so I check the guy's model numbers. I go help him load his stuff in the truck. And he looks at me and he turns his head to the door and then looks at me and goes, well, I know I'm not supposed to give this to you, but here. And he slips me $7. And I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, you have the goal to shortcut your way through $60 in the shamest play, most shame-filled way possible. And then after you bitch that you don't get because you missed a sale, then you have the goal to tip me the money that you saved on that shit. Like, that's fucking low. And we're not supposed to accept them anyway because it's not a tip-based business.
Yeah. Like,
So
I mean, same situation with my job. If any money comes over the counter, like it goes in the register.
yeah. So I went straight to my manager and was like, listen to this motherfucker. Like,
oh no, man. Like I think it's hilarious. I'll get people come in to the store at like 2, 3 in the morning, and they always get pissed off that, you know, it's way more expensive to buy shit at a convenience store than it is at a regular store. And we've got like 2 or 3 different racks of like USB cords and aux cords and earbuds, all kinds of electronic related stuff. And it's marked up, you know, I mean, for the cheap ass versions of these products, they are very high. You know, like the cheapest you're going to find, like a pair of earbuds is like $8. You know, something that, I don't know, it might last you a week.
and that's if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah. And then they've got some decent ones. Like I'm using a pair right now of earbuds plugged in my speakers. You know, they're decent, but you know, you're paying $18 for them. And this one guy came in. He wanted to get a car charger and the cable. And we have like, you know, Type C and micro and whatever else. And I know what plugs into my phone. I don't give a fuck about the rest of them. It's not my job to know the ins and outs of these different charger models.
Yeah.
You know, you point at the one you want, you know, the one you think you need. I scan it. You give me money. You take it. That's how it works. But they always wanted to argue with me about the price. Like, oh, that's way too high. It's like, well, yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
Like, you want that shit? You go to Radio Shack.
You know, like, this is a convenience store, honey. You're paying for the convenience of buying this shit at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. You know, if you want cheap, go to the 99-cent store. I doubt they're open right now. But, you know, with my job, I can get away with saying that to the customer because I'm the only one there. And it's like, I mean, it's the truth. You want it now? Pay extra. You want it cheaper? Wait.
Yep.
You know, who you texting at 3 a.m. on a Sunday that you need a full charge in your car? But yeah, I love getting those, you know, kind of customers sitting there complaining. Whoever came up with the phrase "the customer's always right" never worked in any kind of customer service. That was some dude in marketing.
They need to be punched in the throat.
I mean, I have customers that that Job would not, you know, have patience for. So yeah, you know, I would love to see whoever came up with that phrase, you know, deal with my customer base.
Oh, there was a lady that came in yesterday.
In a bathrobe?
Oh, I wish.
You know, well, that does seem to be the theme with my customers anyway. But
if it were that much more entertaining, that I really wish they would. She came in because she had this special ordered cabinet thing. I don't even know how she fucking described it. It's just a box that holds crap. And I was like, I go, okay. And she's like, yeah, you know, I took measurements and I found it wasn't going to work right. And so I brought it back. I go, okay, you returned it. And she's like, yeah. And then I thought, you know, I'm going to make this work. And so I came back to see if it had been placed on, you know, anywhere for a sale. And I go, honestly, if it's not in our clearance area and it's not on the cabinet desk, I can't tell you where it is because I just don't know. And so she has me check all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And she goes, God, this place has really gone downhill. And I'm like, bitch, you just told me that you returned it because it wasn't going to work for you, and now you wanted it back, and it's our fault? Like, don't jump into traffic. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, people.
Oh, my favorite one is like just seeing the people come in, and you can I can spot just by looking at them whether or not they're paying with food stamps at this point. And then it's once I spot them, it's like, all right, now are they going to buy beer or cigarettes with cash? And then complain about whatever the prices are on our beer and cigarettes. Because like the other night we had a system update, so a lot of the beer wasn't scanning. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Because I always get that 2 a.m. bum rush.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about people that they can't buy their booze before 2 a.m. But there are some of them out there, just like their internal clock goes off. It's like, oh shit, it's 1:38. I better get down to the store.
You have to have some pretty funny stories, being that it is a convenience store.
My favorite ones are like just the black folk that come in there, because like I had a dude come in when we were doing that system update. Like the night before, he had come in to buy beer, but he came in at like 2:30. And so I waited till he got up to the counter. He's going to pay for it. I just took it off the counter. It's like, dude, it's too late, man. I can't sell this to you. He's like, when do y'all stop selling? 2 a.m. What time's it now? 2:30, dude. You're a half hour late. Sorry. So he comes back the next night. It's like 1:30. And he's got a couple of folks with him. And he walks in trying to joke around like he's mad at me because I didn't sell him beer the night before. And I said, well, he walks off after he tells his little joke. He goes right over to the beer cooler. And I looked at him, I was like, bro, if you was mad last night, you can be real pissed tonight. He's like, why? I was like, because half that shit ain't scanning tonight, dude. I can't sell it. He's like, what can't you sell? I just walked over there with like a sheet of paper with a list on it that my manager had left, all the stuff that wasn't scanning. And it was one of those things like, we don't know how much of it won't scan. So anything that's not on the list that doesn't scan for you, just put it on the list. And so I just walk over there with this sheet of paper. And I was like, that you can't buy that. You can't buy that. You can't buy this.
It's like, here, let me just throw this out there. And it's just a scroll that just rolls.
I wish, man, that would have been hilarious. just roll it out like, 4 feet of paper just hits his feet. But yeah, I was like, oh man, I was like, bro, if you was mad last night, just wait. But yeah, then it's like people come in, it's like, what's the cheapest pack of cigarettes you got? It's like Pall Malls, which apparently even bums fucking hate Pall Malls. I've never tried them, but apparently that's the lowest of the low.
I tried them back when I was a smoker. They are just as gross as I would think.
And then another thing was like we have a company like rewards card, like you swipe it at the register when you buy shit, and you collect points that you can redeem to buy more shit later on. And there for a while they had a promotion. Once you activated the card, you get free items to start off with, like free fountain drinks or this or that. And then after you go through your free ones, like every 6th or 7th one you would buy would be free. And I had people come in, they would get like 4 or 5 cards at a time. And they would just activate them with like different family member or friends' phone numbers and shit, just so they could get free drinks. And the best part for me was just waiting until like, because they just go, like, oh man, I got like 4 free drinks left. They just go make their drink, come up there, have me scan the card. Okay, fine, whatever. But then they'd forget which card they had, and that whichever one they brought there would be out of drinks, and so like I was almost giddy whenever that would happen. It's like rejected, card denied. Try again.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing when it happens to you, though.
Well, I mean, I would just out of courtesy go up to the register and check to make sure I had a free drink. And then they never did that. So like they'd have a big gulp, just sitting there on the counter and look at me like, I don't have any money. It's like, oh well, you don't have a soda, bro. Just take that shit right off the counter.
That's like that meme with the guy with the KFC bucket.
Oh, you have to refresh my memory, dude. I think I might have missed that one.
It's a free. They said it was a free refill.
Oh,
and it shows a guy with a KFC bucket.
But yeah, I just that, and like when the end of the month hits and they run out of their food stamps. My 2 favorite times, seeing that transaction declined. Look, I got money out here. Are you sure about that? I mean, are you really sure about that? Because this is saying you don't. Because I always see them at the beginning of the month just buying just ridiculous amounts of shit on their food stamps. I had one dude, New Year's, not even 2 hours into 2019, dude dropped $80 in food stamps at a fucking convenience store.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Like I had 3, plastic bags full of just, Skittles and Snickers and 2 liters of soda. And oh God.
Like, do you have a grocery store near you at all?
We've got like 4.
Like, they know that shit's cheaper over there, right?
They don't care. This is walking distance.
It's like you can
it's free money. I literally had one dude explaining to another dude how to game the food stamp system because apparently he got denied, his buddy. And it's like, well, just tell him you're homeless, dude. It's like, motherfucker. Neither one of you are homeless.
It's like, should you be discussing this in front of the guy you're trying to con here?
Oh, they're not trying to con me. They're trying to con DHS to get the food stamps in the first place.
Oh.
That's what he's talking about. Just tell him that you're homeless. He's talking about, going to the DHS office and saying that shit.
Good Lord.
But yeah, it's just out in the open. Just tell them you're homeless, dude. They'll give you food stamps. And it's just so there's like, dude, both of you. I mean, at least one of you has a job that I'm aware of. Or
at least there's some semblance of hope that he does.
But
another one of the great lines that I love to hear, and actually I got this one on Saturday. Guy calls in, bought a chest freezer, and he goes, yeah, I bought a chest freezer and I'd like you guys to replace it. And I go, okay, well, let me look up your information. Yeah, I got the guy's phone number. And that brings up their name and everything like that. And he goes, yeah, I bought this for my for a 98-year-old woman, blah blah blah. And I go, okay, let's see. It was a 5 cubic foot freezer. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, this was purchased in February. And he's like, yeah. I go, yeah, we can't do that. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Our return policy is 30 days, not 330 days."
And
And
that's
he
that's something I
goes,
tell the customers when they actually do pony up and buy one of those cables or whatever. It's like, hey, if this doesn't work, keep your receipt. I don't do returns this late at night. You got to come back and talk to the manager in the morning. They're like, really? I was like, really? So, if you really want to spend $18 on that aux cable so you can listen to your iPhone or whatever, yeah, hold on to your receipt.
yeah, and he goes, the line he drops is perfect, and he says like, "Well, I've never been treated with such disrespect. I spend hundreds and thousands of dollars there,
Hundreds and thousands, huh?
hundreds of thousands," and I'm like, "Sir," I was almost like, "Sir, you realize how much we cringe when we hear that line? There is not one customer service representative that works there who has not had that line dropped on them."
I wish someone would try and use that line on me. Really? You spend hundreds and thousands of dollars at this particular, convenience store brand.
Well, how about I take my
Why?
business to this other place? Okay, go for it. Like, don't care.
I would just tell them like, well, I'm sure 7-Eleven will appreciate your, future patronage, sir. Have a good day. But nah, man. I always love. I love working the night shift because that is when the all the freaks and weirdos come out. I had one night I was pulling a double, and I actually met the Lizard Man. You ever see that dude on Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yeah,
Yeah, he came into my store in like the middle of winter. He ran out of gas on the highway, and sheriff's deputies brought him in to fill up a gas can.
nice.
And I was working like I think it was hour 16 or 17. It lightly snowed, so one of my my person who's supposed to come in and work night shift, she called in, said she couldn't get a ride. It's like, fucking walk. You live like 10 minutes away by foot. It's a small town, lady. Come on, get your shit together. Well, I live at the bottom of a hill, and anybody who tries to drive up, to pick me up, they'll just get stuck at the bottom of the hill with me. Then walk to the other side of the hill. Apparently, that was a no-go. So yeah, I got stuck there. I was, I'd already been up, all for my shift, and probably a good 8 to 10 hours before that. So I was just slap happy. And this dude walked in, green tattoo scales all over his face and everything. I was like, did I pass out standing up and smack my head? What the fuck's going on here? And I guess, he was used to the whole double take and everything. And I was looking like, I was like, are you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, he's like, yeah. I was like, cool. Here's your total. And then right before he left, I was like, oh, wait, 1 second. Hold up, dude. I got to ask, right? He's like, okay. I was like, why? And I don't know if like the story he gave me was legit or if he was just fucking with me because I was, working at a gas station at 4 a.m. But he said something about he was going for like his master's or PhD in philosophy and was writing some dissertation on what it meant to be human. And I forget the rest of it because I was just like, how does asking what it means to be human make you fucking tattoo your face like a fucking lizard? But yeah, that was the weirdest shit that I had ever seen working in a convenience store. Was that dude just strolling in like nothing? made me want to meet the leopard man just to complete the set.
Yeah, the cat lady.
No, the leopard man in Scotland. He's tattooed up all like a leopard. Got like a facial surgery to kind of give him the whisker look and everything.
Oh, there's a cat lady that did that too.
I want to buy that dude a beer just to hear him tell some stories, not even tattoo related. Apparently, that dude was former SAS before he decided to tattoo himself up like a big cat.
Oh, really?
Unless I'm misremembering and attributing that to somebody else. Yeah, I was like, dude, forget about just tattoo, spending all that time getting tattooed, poked by a needle, and like this guy, Special Air Service. That's a badass. But aside from seeing a dude from Ripley's Believe It or Not, my other favorite thing was getting Foreigners.
I did have a Korean family come in.
I've never had any Asians. I've had it's been Europeans and like Aussies and Kiwis. I've had a family from England. I had one lady from County Clare, Ireland. A couple of Australian families and one dude from New Zealand. And it just, coming through Oklahoma, at least this part of Oklahoma, I always have to ask him, I was like, why? What are you doing here? It's like, I'm here because I've always been here. What are you doing? And, some of them, just passing through. Some of them, actually live somewhere, in the area. Married a dude from Oklahoma and ended up moving back with him. But my favorite one was this old German lady. She's probably in her mid to late 50s. And she still had, somewhat of a German accent. And so I just picked up on it immediately. Like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
And she saw me reading one of the papers, one of the newspapers, because at that point in time I had all my stuff done for the shift, and I was just thumbing through the paper, seeing what was in the news. And she happened to catch me reading the travel section, and I guess she thought that meant I wanted to travel. It's like, nah, I just already read the sports and the comics, and but she immediately goes into this tirade. I pity you Americans. You work too much. You never have any time for vacation. You never go anywhere or do anything. And this was completely unsolicited opinions. I was like, huh? What? And she finally gets done, with talking about how we never take any time to go anywhere or do anything. And I just looked at her, I was like, well, lady, I pity you Germans. You can't win a war to save your lives. And that shut her right up. She took her change and walked the fuck out. I was like, who says I want to go anywhere? I'm just reading the damn paper.
I'm messaging Inquisitor, see if he'll make it in.
All right, I'm going to step away for 1 second. I got to let my dog out real fast, otherwise she's going to whine the whole time. I'll be right back.
All right. You want to end De La Hazed? Send you that one. Send that out.
Okay, I'm back.
No, I was telling Inquisitor that there was that article that had Polydub written all over it.
Which one was that?
That was the one from Indianz.com.
Oh, I found a few other ones on that website which just had me laughing pretty good. Hey Hayes, how's it going, man?
How's it going, guys?
Let me see. I'll pull it back up here. Because I went ahead and kept that website open just because I didn't want to risk losing it.
And I mean, like, you'll hit that, you know, kind of SJW-ish type.
What gets me though is this is a website run by a tribe, and like they're putting like all this different news from different tribes together, like we're all one people. It's like, no.
That's completely false.
Oh, there's P-Dog Night. How's it going?
Lawyer Dog.
You want in on this?
I saw the IMDb page for Monkey in the Morning, and they actually have P-Dog listed as Lawyer P-Dog.
Nice.
All right, I gotta look that up because that is.
Yeah. First name Lawyer, middle initial P, last name Dog.
Beautiful.
Ranting Monkey, Dax Orion.
He's towards the end there. I think it's only been on a couple episodes that they've got him listed for. So
There's
I want to say he's right at the end of the list.
See full cast. Let's see. Polydub.
Good afternoon, Sora Luna.
Bad Comic Reviews.
Hey, Sora.
Gutenberg, Lawyer P-Dog, right there. Like I'll screen share that. That must be shared.
There it is.
Right there.
Jesus Christ.
Dork.
Okay, whoever's running this page isn't even trying anymore.
Well, can you blame them? I mean, I went on to try and add Dax to it, and that's a lot of work.
Lady Monkey herself and Ranting Monkey's wife.
But no, that Indianz website. There's one I want to send a tailed feature just to ask him how he feels about the Navajo appropriating Scottish culture. Because res golf grows in popularity on the Navajo Nation. Like first they took Scotch, now they're taking golf. What's next? Kilts?
Well,
Hey, Sora Luna, how's it going?
They had one talking about the possibility of the Washington NFL team, since they won't say the mascot name, possibly returning to RFK Stadium.
Nice.
With a new development project in DC. And it's funny because I got to find it. I got to scroll down a bit. But they actually refer to Redskins at one point in the article with the R word. And I'm like, it's 2019. People are going to think you're talking about retarded.
Right?
Hey, look, it's the Washington retards.
Well, I mean, the way they've been playing, I mean... The only thing that offends me about the Washington Redskins is that they've sucked my entire life. I don't think they've made the playoffs in 30 years, have they?
They have. They've done.
What? Did they get past the wild card?
In the early 90s.
Okay, well.
And then when they brought in RG3, and that was it.
did they just, but this is what gets me. Like, this website is run by, it's owned and operated by Ho Chunk Inc., the Economic Development Corporation of the Winnebago Tribe.
The Winnebago Tribe.
Yeah. I thought they just made, really shitty RVs, but no, apparently not. Oh, here's the article. I'll drop it into side chat if you want to pull it up.
Okay. Now, I read through most of that list of the top 10 ways to what was it? To
indigenize Congress.
Indigenize. That's the word.
Yes.
Yeah, to indigenize. And I read through most of those, and some of those would be absolutely fucking hilarious to see. Just because that people would be freaking out about cultural appropriation.
Well, my favorite one is the last one, actually. Pull that one back up here. That's one of the top stories they had. I got to scroll all the way back up here now. Because, where was it? Oh, yes. To Deb and Charisse, 10 ways to indigenize Congress. I'll go ahead and drop that link in the chat as well.
And that chick is hot.
At
least I think so.
The one from Kansas, the one that's the
Charisse
former
Davids.
MMA fighter.
Yeah. Charisse Davids.
She's all right.
Well, I mean, she's not, AOC hot, but she's, well, faceless AOC hot, I should say.
Okay, so
which now that I say it out loud sounds kind of creepy.
Not as creepy as the face.
What was creepy as the face?
Okay, what's creepier, Quiz? AOC with her face or AOC without a face?
Oh, we're talking like straight up the question shit, like no facial features?
Like no face at all.
Like undoomed face.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, like the question from DC.
No, with facial features. That's the reason why she's creepy, man, is because she has those gigantic fucking, like, deer in a headlight's eyes.
Yeah.
Which is why she's creepy.
Those brows don't
bug-eyed and buck teeth, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing, is that bug-eyed and buck teeth, that's not necessarily bad looking on a woman, but she definitely does not pull it off.
No. Not at all.
Oh, Quiz, I'm gonna.
How's it going, guys?
I'm gonna show you this article that had polydub written all over it.
Okay.
And you'll see why.
Healthcare has never been easier.
We know why he is not working with Marvel anymore.
Who's that?
That's Mark Ruffalo.
That's Ruffalo.
Oh, it's Mark Ruffalo? I was going to say, is it bad that the person that is immediately to Mark Ruffalo's left, I immediately thought that was, what's her nuts? The crazy lady that wrote America Chavez. Shit. Gabby Rivera.
Oh, I took a little too much fun in sharing that one with Johnny, or Johnny sharing that with me earlier. I was like, I'm starting to understand why Quiz and Polly take so much joy in shitting on this dude getting fired.
Well, dude, he is the very definition of pompous, spoiled, rich asshole. So,
he sent me like that one after I told him about this website, and my first response was, it's like, well, I mean, he's got plenty of time to sit around at powwow being fired and all.
Yeah, I know, right? Sounds like a joke I'd make. Stop it.
I was like, man, they couldn't get Adam Beach or something. Johnny's like, well, I mean, he's probably busy getting, killed in some movie somewhere. I was like, yeah, you know why that is? Because he didn't get fired. I was like, damn, this is addictive.
Yeah, right. It's very easy to point out Mark Ruffalo's problems when he has nothing but problems, and they're all self-inflicted because he's being a self-righteous dickhead.
He's like that guy who like acts like he's gonna like, oh, I'm gonna drop something, and then he just absolutely just shits on everything.
Yep. Oh, son of a bitch! I can put something in my house.
It's like I remember you guys were talking about when he first got fired off of and yeah, they treated his character in Infinity War Part 1 like he was in a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can't do that with him. He's not like
he's not charismatic enough. You don't
guy, but like
he's definitely not leading man material.
He's the bumbling idiot in the romantic comedy, and it's not translating.
Yeah, right. Shit, I almost forgot my watch.
I've not found him to be. I haven't seen him in a lot of movies, but I've never found him to be convincing in any role that he played. Romantic interest, superhero. What else have I seen him in?
Zodiac was boring as hell.
I'll tell you this much: he did
I
play
forgot
one
he was
very
in
convincing
Zodiac.
role. He did play one very convincing role, and that was the cop with autism in Law and Order. Not Special Victims. What was the other one? Criminal Intent. Yeah.
That was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Was? I thought it was Mark Ruffalo.
No, that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Wilson Fisk.
Huh. All right. Well, I guess there is nothing good that he was in.
There you go.
I'm sure there was something. Let's take a look at his IMDb page. Let's see what
he was in that movie Spotlight, which I still haven't seen. Apparently, it did well at awards season. About the was it Boston Globe breaking the Catholic priest scandal?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't really. Movies haven't been interesting me all that much lately. I finally got caught up on all the Marvel movies except for Ant-Man and Wasp.
I haven't seen a Marvel movie since Guardians 2.
Somebody gave my girlfriend their Netflix password. That's the only reason why I got caught up.
I need to get caught up on all the DC TV shows. I know it frustrates me because I want them to be better than they are. The only one that's been fairly good the whole time has been Arrow.
I've kind of favored the Flash. I've stopped watching the other ones.
Arrow?
After the first season of Flash, it all just goes straight into the social justice toilet.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, the last season for the Flash was absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
If I heard another hashtag feminism, I was gonna just put my fist through the TV. Like it was.
Well, it's so funny about that too because like Arrow had a feminism thing too, but it was a joke. It was Oliver and the guy who's playing Wild Dog in a meeting with this high-powered journalist sort of thing, and he goes like, "Oh no, I didn't mean that." Or she's like, Wild Dog said something stupid, and she's looking at him all like disapprovingly, and he goes, "Oh no, I didn't mean that women couldn't do that. I'm a feminist like that," and he just kind of like gives her the side eye. I was like, you're playing off like a joke. Yeah, I can get into that.
Yeah,
But,
and then
oh my God.
well, that's all fucking Supergirl is.
Oh my God, Supergirl. The first season of Supergirl was good.
Yes.
The first season was good on CBS, but then they fucking went to the CW and it was garbage.
Right.
Oh my God. Like, they did so good with some of the villains. Like, I absolutely love the first Flash crossover where it was Silver Banshee and Livewire versus Supergirl and the Flash. That was really fucking cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
And then they just completely shat over themselves for every other season afterwards because then it's all women empowerment.
Oh my God.
Like, make it about superheroes, motherfucker.
The multiverse
wrong with
crossover
that?
with the fucking Nazi verse. That was just
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse.
Yeah,
Like, they
it
could
could
have
have
had
been.
Trump be the president for it.
That would have helped a
Then it
lot,
was like,
actually.
dude, you're not even fucking trying, really.
Yeah.
I made it to part
but-
2 when he's just like, yeah, I'm a stripper because I'm a woman and I can do that. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. Just stick
Yeah.
a fork in it.
Yeah. Like, I want to like those shows more than I actually do. I still think that Arrow is probably the only one that's still consistent out of all of them. That and Stephen Amell is good actor.
Oh yes, Constantine was definitely great.
Oh yeah, when they had Constantine coming in on it, that was pretty fucking cool.
Well, there
his
was
own-
also a series
own-
too. Like, what was it, like 5-10 episodes?
It was 12.
Well,
Oh, nice.
was it actually tied into Arrow?
No, it
I
was
remember they
Constantine
had-
himself. Like Constantine's actions on his own.
Oh, I know, but they had a Constantine TV show before Arrow was even released.
Oh
So what
no,
I'm
yeah,
saying
it's
is,
the
like,
same one that's
did
in
it
Arrow.
tie in with Arrow?
Yeah, it's the same guy that's in
Okay.
Arrow. Sorry,
Gotcha.
my bad.
Because he did a fucking amazing job. I thought
you were
when-
asking if they tied in like any crossovers or anything like that. I didn't realize that's what you meant.
Yeah.
I forgot about the one
Well,
before.
he was in. Yeah, he was in a couple episodes of Arrow, and I remember.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
fucking great.
Yeah,
when they-
he
when
was-
they went-
and isn't his voice the same one as the one used in the Justice League Dark
Yep.
for Constantine?
I don't know. I don't know for a fact if that is true or
It
not.
is.
I don't have IMDb in front of me.
It is for Justice
Right.
League Dark, and it is for the new Constantine movie.
Yes, and then there was that little animated miniseries too, right?
Yeah, they did a web series. I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, they did one for Vixen too for
Yeah.
when she was introduced into Arrow. Yeah,
Mhm.
For the Seed.
like that was. Yeah, CW Seed. Yeah.
I keep coming across this thing on the YouTube homepage as I'm scrolling down the videos. It's like a video about or titled "Is the CW verse becoming the new Lucasfilms?"
If they do, they need to fucking quit it with the selectivism, because that's really pissing me off, and it's pissing people off with Star Wars too. I mean,
Yeah.
Star Wars is losing money now. I guarantee you, Episode 9 is going to come out with mediocre to middling results, or even outright failure. I can see that happening, and that would be unthinkable with Star Wars before.
I was invited to there's a guy who runs a barbecue joint. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and I was a friend of his, and so he invited. Well, my friend invited me to his shindig, and so he feeds everyone. Like, everyone buys a ticket and a dinner, and it's this brilliant barbecue stuff. It's fucking wonderful, and they did it for The Force Awakens, and then Rogue One, and then Episode 8.
The Last Jedi. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I thought The Force Awakens was okay.
Yeah.
It played just like episode 4?
Yeah. New Hope. Yeah.
And then when Rogue One came out, I was having some sciatic problems, so I couldn't stay in the chair. But it's not like I was enjoying myself through the movie anyway. And so, yeah, afterwards, I was just like, I kind of don't like how they were playing stuff. And
it's kind of funny because I like the people that I talk to about it say the exact opposite. They say all of the other new Star Wars shit is absolute garbage, but Rogue One was actually fairly decent.
I didn't make it through like the very end. Like you can hear everyone getting their Darth Vader boner going.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that, I mean, that was the only good part of the movie is that one scene. Like, and then, I was like, I'm like, yeah, that's the only really part of the movie I liked. And then I got disinvited for episode 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you did. They had one for Solo too, or?
Yeah, they had one for 8.
Oh.
Which I just went on my own. And I'm probably going to go see 9 anyway, but probably after it comes out. After it's been
what
out.
What about Solo?
I never watched Solo.
Good. No, I don't think very many people did.
The only one of the new ones I've seen so far is the last one.
Last Jedi?
Yeah, and that was again, somebody else was watching Netflix, and I just happened to be in the room. I was trying to ignore it at first because Star Wars lost me at episode 1.
Yeah, thank you. Me too.
We don't talk about 1 through 3.
Neither do I. Neither do I. As far as I'm concerned, it's like Clerks 2. There's only one trilogy,
And it's
right.
But
Kevin, stop smoking weed. Stop it. Stop.
But
you were so much better before.
Well, I mean, he might need to smoke double the amount of weed now that he's a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's had all those health problems too. I mean, he had a quadruple bypass, something like that.
Something like that.
He beat the Widowmaker.
Yeah. That's so crazy, man. I mean, the thing about it is Kevin Smith, right? The only things that I can criticize him for are the movies that I've not enjoyed of his. I mean, that's the only thing you can say bad about him because he keeps his political shit to himself. Are you listening, Hollywood? Keep that shit to yourself.
No. I have to voice my opinion to be popular.
I was going to say Kevin Smith's heart was more clogged than Tess Holliday's colon.
Oof.
Since we're talking about shit, going back to The Last Jedi. Well, the reason I ended up watching it was because I was sitting on my computer and somebody else was watching it on TV on Netflix, and I've got a desktop, so it's not like I can just pick this shit up and go to the other room. And we only had like the one TV in the house at the time that was working. So, but this dude starts watching The Last Jedi. And I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Star Wars. I was like, no. This is not Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And I just proceeded to do like a live action CinemaSins.
Yeah.
like my best my best impression of first take CinemaSins on this movie.
I almost want to get one of those bells like Sinatra has.
And the whole reason why I did it was just to see how long I could do this before he would actually turn the damn thing off.
Did he Iron Man it? Did he stay at the whole thing?
Yeah, turns out he was more stubborn than I was. So I ended up watching the whole Last Jedi because he wouldn't turn it off and I wouldn't fucking leave. But by the end of the movie, I had him convinced. It's like, end credits start rolling. It's like, yeah, you're right. That kind of was shit. I was like, I told you. I've been telling you for the past, hour and a half.
Yep. You mean you didn't find Admiral Gender Studies to be the best character ever? How dare you, shitlord?
No, I think I was thinking I should get the bell like Sinatra has. and then take that to episode 9. And then whenever something happens, just go ding. Like,
oh, you could do like a social justice bingo or something.
Oh yeah. I know several SJWs did that sort of thing with other movies. Like one of them was, I think, Godzilla, the 2014 Godzilla. 2014, 2015. I can't remember exactly what year that came out. But yeah,
the Bryan Cranston one.
Yeah. I still say that the movie should have been about Bryan Cranston. They should have killed his son off. That would have been better. Would have given Bryan Cranston like all the more reason to try and kill Godzilla. But you know, like I've seen them do stuff like that for those kinds of movies. So I think it's only, you know, fair to go to a social justice-y movie and do a social justice bingo. Makes sense.
But yeah, man, like I said, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Star Wars, you know, that ended a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, exactly. Episode 1, man. Episode 1 was the last Star Wars movie that I saw in theaters, and I have written the entire series off after that. Like, yes, I will acknowledge that A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi are good movies. I've never said that they're not, but I'm saying that they are the only good things in a massive pile of bullshit that is completely eclipsing the sun at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going back over this list. There are typos in this thing.
Maybe we should give it to Scribe.
Well, I mean, I've only found the one so far, but it's like, come on, you know, this is a tribe-run website where you're posting news. Who's your editor?
Chief Constable.
I'm guessing the person that runs the website, and they're doing their bad job.
You want to go over the list now, John, or you want to save that for later?
Yeah, we can do the list.
Oh, okay. This is the 10 ways to indigenize Congress. Since we have our first 2 Native American members of Congress elected in 2018.
Native American women.
Native American women, neither of which is Elizabeth Warren.
Well,
both of which are probably 95% more Native than Elizabeth Warren.
I am registered as 1/8. I am 200 times more Indian than Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, our tribe is over 35%, and I don't know my registration amount. So I am over 35%.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that number would be, but
well, I am 12.5% if we're gonna go, you know, like full blood quantum. But yeah, this is the top 10 ways to indigenize Congress. Number 1, always acknowledge indigenous homelands that you are standing on. So the whole fucking country, at all times, everywhere.
My fellow Americans.
Yeah.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Cherokees, Apaches, Navajos, Nez Perce, Oneida, etc., so on, so forth.
Let's go through every...
I would need that scroll from all the beer I couldn't sell the other night.
Yeah.
Number 2, always open Congress with cedar, sweetgrass, or sage. I haven't been able to smoke indoors in 20 fucking years, and you're going to light up a sage?
What the fuck?
It's supposed to be like cleansing, getting rid of bad spirits and shit like that.
Are they trying to hotbox the Capitol or something?
Number 3, always open Congress with a blessing. if I'm not mistaken, they already do that. They call it prayer.
Yeah, but it's not native prayer.
Well, I mean, you have the Native American Church. They're Christians. You know, they're the only ones that
Gonna
they're
trigger
the
the
only
shit
Christians
out
that
of
get to do
the,
peyote. I mean, now maybe if they opened Congress with peyote, I'd be on board. But
Congress is just tripping balls the entire time.
that would make C-SPAN way more entertaining.
Turns into battle royale over there.
Number 4, talk about the survival and existence of indigenous people as much as possible and secure a future for their children. Now, I'm sorry, I just added that last part. Number 5, teach Congress to use the correct name of every tribal nation. Fair enough. I ain't got a problem with that one.
Yeah, well, I would actually love to hear it because there's always those, because I mean they're all old assholes. Let's not mince words here. But to hear someone who's just like who carries that they need to speak American if they're here, and then they have to use like with my tribe, their language is mostly like click click dirk. You know, it's
yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I'm like, I would love to hear that from like Jeb Bush.
Oh, like I said, I'm a card-carrying Indian, and I mispronounce shit in our language all the time. So, where was I? Number 6. Teach Congress that, and this is with the quotation marks around them, indigenous and Native American are acceptable terms to be used when discussing indigenous people.
Now, is it me or does
So what is not?
indigenous,
Hey,
indigenous sounds like a dirty word to me. Like I had to look it up.
damn indents.
Well, see, every time I hear indigenous, I always think of deciduous, and I start thinking about trees.
I just think it makes me think of homeless people.
I go back to my 5th grade biology class, and for some reason, I just start thinking about, like, you know, cedar and pine and oak.
As you do.
Yeah.
You do.
Number 7, teach Congress how to cut words the right way. Okay, then, aye. And it's literally like 7 A's, Y-E-E, exclamation point. It's like, well, I mean, this is a tribal-run website, and you're printing this shit in English, so maybe, just maybe, let them have that one.
Are they trying to like to let them do like the rolling of the tongue I thing?
I don't know, man. I have to look up where the Winnebago tribe is located. You know, maybe they're one of those, you know, border tribes, and the Indian is bleeding through with the Mexican.
You said what was the other one? It was part of a different sort of corporation.
This is the Economic Development Corporation of the Winnebago tribe.
Okay, what was the other one? Because it was I remember you said something else, and that name sounded familiar to me.
It's Ho Chunk Inc. That is the
Ho Chunk.
Yeah,
there's a casino called the Ho Chunk in, I want to say, Illinois.
They may have property in Illinois.
Then in Rosemont. Yeah, I think it's in Rosemont.
Number 8. This is the one that I caught the.
It's in Wisconsin.
Oh, it's in Wisconsin. Okay.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Teach Congress that is respectful to reserve seats with a Pendleton blanket. Smallpox optional. Again, I added that last part.
At least it's self-deprecating. Oh, okay. I thought it was actually in the article.
No.
I was going to say, it's self-deprecating humor. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to add this stuff in, otherwise I'm going to just want to smack my face, you know, right on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Number 9, teach Congress that it is more polite and acceptable to point with lips than with fingers.
So they're trying to get everyone to kiss.
What does that even mean?
I think the Winnebago tribe just endorsed duck lips. I think they just endorsed the duck face.
Either that or they want everyone to hold hands and kiss.
They're big Mick Jagger fans up in Wisconsin. I'm betting you. Number 10. Always remember that every day is a good day to be indigenous.
That is the cringiest finish to any list ever.
Every day is a good day when you live in the first world.
Just don't say it's okay to be white.
First world living with third world
How dare you?
But yeah, that had me. I was like, really? Like this is the 10 ways that you think you're going to indigenize Congress. I don't know. See, I when I first found this website, without scrolling all the way to the bottom and seeing, that it's actually run by a tribe, I thought this was just like somebody's blog or some shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
At the top of it, it has news, gaming, and then register, jobs, podcast, which I think I might have to listen to one of these podcasts just to get the full flavor.
Let us know if it's social justice cancer.
Oh, apparently they have multiple ones. They have they have art, books, entertainment, film, music, something dealing with a lawsuit and settlement, education in Indian country. Again, different tribes, different people.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. And I remember before I joined here, you guys were talking about different tribes, different people. Tecumseh tried to unite the tribes. Didn't work out too well for him. Just saying.
Well, what really gets me is that people are like, oh, yeah, the natives were so peaceful. You do realize
there were tribes that hated each other.
There are tribes that to this day still hate each other. Like, they were flaying each other openly. Like, they were drawing and quartering before drawing and quartering was cool in Europe.
But what I thought was what made me think about that was I told you that story, Johnny, about working for my tribe and having a white chick and her boyfriend come in trying to talk to me about the protests for the pipeline.
Yeah.
And I had heard about it, peripherally. Occasionally it would come up on, like the news when I still watch mainstream news. And I didn't really pay that much attention. Like, okay, well, they don't want a pipeline built around their property, fine, whatever. But yeah, she came in and started talking to me about it. And I looked, I was like, well, what protest are you talking about? And she was kind of shocked that I didn't know which one she was talking about. I was like, it's 2016. Everybody's protesting. What's this one about? The pipeline up in, I don't even remember which state it was. It was one of the Dakotas, wasn't it?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Okay. That's how little I cared. But, she's telling me about it. We stand with the Indians. Water is life. I was like, well, you do realize we're not all one people, right? Like, they got their shit. We got ours. Our water's fine. We don't care about them. And you could just kind of see her world melting.
My favorite response is like when one of the lead protesters was like, "This isn't Burning Man. Go away." Like,
oh yeah. Like that's one of the things. Like I always joke, like, I'm Choctaw, so we're one of the 5 civilized tribes. No hippies allowed. Bring money to our casinos, give us your money, leave, and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
I'm Squawking, like, so we're just like, hey, if it doesn't involve fish, we're just gonna stay over here.
But But yeah, like her whole world melted when I just told her, it's like, yeah, we don't care about them. What? It's like, we're Choctaw. We don't give a fuck about who they are up north. I think I referred to them as snow Mexicans. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a far cry of difference between Inuit and Lakota too, right? Because the Lakotas were in the Dakotas, right?
Yes, they are. But that's still way far north of Oklahoma. So
that's very true. Very true.
Pretty much any Indian north of Kansas is a snow Mexican to me.
All right, I got one for you.
Oh,
I
okay.
I just did a Google search of how many native tribes there were before colonization.
Oh boy.
Take a guess.
I'm guessing at least 4 digits. So good round 1,000. Is this Price is Right rules? Is it don't go over?
We'll just go with close.
Are we counting like extremely small tribes too, like the Shawnee, who were relegated to an extremely small portion of Ohio?
Let's see what this article says first. Okay, we get past the dancing guy. Let's see. We don't care about the largest.
Native Americans don't really even have a Native American nation, really.
No,
like every bit of Native Americans were just tribes, and each one was different. It all depended on the community. If that's the case, I would guess in the tens of thousands.
Okay, they're saying R, so it would be nowadays.
Oh, okay. I would say in the hundreds then. Maybe about 200.
Okay, yeah. So
I'd say 400 to 500 tribes. I mean, if we're counting like tribes and bands and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'll go 500, just be nice and even.
Yeah, because this doesn't even bring up colonization. This is how many are in the U.S. And 562.
Ah, that's pretty close.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't bring up anything about colonization, but let's see.
Yeah, that's 562 tribes equaling roughly 1% of the American population.
While it's difficult to determine exactly how many natives lived in North America before Columbus, estimates range from a low of 2.1 million to 7 million people to a high of 18 million. I don't think 18 million.
Yeah, no, that's.
Well, it's also estimated that 90% were wiped out after European contact due to disease and everything.
Yeah. It just seems that does seem a bit high, though. I mean, 18 million's like the combined population of like almost every major city in the U.S.
Like, I can believe 7 million. 7 million is a more believable number.
Yeah.
But 18, no.
I mean, if we're talking like ocean to ocean, Canada to Mexico, that still seems pretty high.
That's another good point. Does it count Central and South American tribes too?
It says of the Americas, so let's see if they have anything in a map.
Because I would think that if you are including that, 10 million is a little bit more believable.
Yeah, they're including Mexico, and
that's what Inca, Maya, Aztec as well.
Yeah,
they had some pretty big populations.
Yep.
So yeah, I can believe 18 million if you include Central and South America.
But yeah, just finding this website. It's been fun this morning just going through some of these. Like they had one, where was it? Some descendant of the commander at Wounded Knee went back to apologize 5 generations later. Like he was a 5th generation descendant of the commander, and I think a 4th generation descendant of one of the lieutenants. What was his name? Where is it?
I'm gonna see if Prospero's busy because this sounds like it would be in her ballpark.
Oh yeah, it'd be right up Prospero's wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, get her before iRage starts streaming.
Oh, he's already started.
Oh, is he? No, he starts in half an hour.
Are you? Yeah, I was gonna say it's half an hour.
It said 2:00 my time.
It says 3:00, and I'm on the page. It's still doing the countdown. 33 minutes.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah, I got a tweet. I must have like retweeted it or something, but I'm not seeing it on my Twitter. He sent another link out and added me saying the last link was bad or something like that, and put the new link for it. I'm like, okay, there's a like.
Yeah, I think he's got Monkey on today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I was gonna try and catch it later after when I was at work, because I planned to be sleeping, but Johnny said, "Hey, you want to stream?" I was like, "Why the hell not?"
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, this has
Okay,
been my alternative to drinking. So
well, this has been entertaining me while
just remember to do both in moderation.
Oh, let's see where.
That's the key. Both in moderation.
Guy? Oh, here's a good one. Native Son News today. Tribes are a barrier to freedom of the press. Posted on a tribal website. That's just beautiful. Owning about 75% of Indian mass media, tribal governments are a key barrier to independent reporting in American Indian outlets, according to a news report. Who is this report by? Let's see. This is coming out of Washington. A new report from the Democracy Fund announced last month. When was this? This is from December 10th, so this report would have been released in November. But I just think that's hilarious, like because my tribe, they send me a newspaper once a month, kind of tell you what the government's trying to do with this or that, and obituaries of people who died, and they try to sprinkle in like a little bit of the actual Choctaw language, but again, I have the words of a child when it comes to speaking Choctaw. Like I can remember like dog, cat, buffalo, hello, thank you. I learned those working at my tribe. Oh, and the other one that I know just means pale face.
That's racist.
And we can guess why.
Well, generally it meant somebody was talking about me, so.
No.
But yeah. If you're ever in southeastern Oklahoma and you hear someone saying Nahulla, they might be talking about you. Just be aware.
What's the word for buffalo?
Yanish.
Yanish. Okay. Someone needs to start going to the Young Turks and start calling Shank Yanish.
You can go Yanish, or like you can use Blackfeet and that'd be Tatanka.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I guess I'm.
No,
there it is. There it is.
Dances with Wolves screwed that for everyone. So.
I'll drop this one in the chat. This is a Native Son News apology offered for Wounded Knee massacre, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that person's name, but I'll go ahead and copy that for you.
All right, I'm intrigued to try.
Middle name is almost like Wakanda, so
let's see how my white side handles it.
Taku Wakan Skun. Oh, that's not even the name. That Ernestine Chasing Hawk. That is a very Indian name if I've ever heard one.
You know
Ernestine.
How I told you how I wanted an Indian name? It was primarily just because I got sick of people not believing me when I say, yeah, I'm Native American. No, with that skin you're not. It's like, God damn it.
That's when I would just tell them, like, all right, let's take a walk outside real fast. Because I had one roommate, she did not believe that I was Indian because I'm a night person by nature, and I'm only like a quarter Indian. I'm registered as 1/8. I claim a quarter just because family. My family has a story as well, just like Senator Warren. Only we can back ours up with paperwork.
Not a cheesy musical.
Well, I'm registered as 1/8 because my mother is registered as 1/4, because my grandfather is registered as 1/2, because my great grandmother didn't tell the federal government who the baby daddy was. So because of that, they said, well, your kid's a half breed now, according to government paperwork.
Oh, this is intriguing.
Oh, you're reading the article?
A different article.
Okay. Yes. For those of you wondering, this apology for Wounded Knee, a gentleman by the name of Bradley C. Upton and his two sisters are fifth-generation descendants of Major General James Forsyth, who ordered the massacre of hundreds of men and women and children from, I'm not even going to pronounce their, from Wounded Knee Creek. And a fourth-generation descendant of Brigadier General John Mosby Bacon. Forsyth was the commanding officer of the U.S. 7th Cavalry Regiment, and Bacon served as lieutenant under his command during the massacre. We have observed and experienced vividly in our family histories, both past and present, the very dark shadow of the massacre and its karmic effect, Upton said. When Upton was 15 years old, he received photos from his great-uncle Bacon, a West Point graduate, of Chief Spotted Elk, Bigfoot in parentheses, and his family lying frozen on the ground after the massacre. But rather than comprehend the military duty/actions of my ancestors, I was horrified and filled with shame and incredible sadness, Upton said. Upton said for years he and his family members have been praying in both the Buddhist and Christian faiths, asking for healing, not only for the Lakota Nation, but for his family's karmic debt of commanding the Wounded Knee massacre. Give me a fucking break, dude. 5 generations ago.
It's like I asked my friend if is it customary for us to just keep apologizing for the bombing of Hiroshima?
I've had Japanese people apologize to me for that. And I'm like, dude, I think you got it the other way around.
It's like, yeah, I guess you could say we kind of went overboard.
They deserved it. They started it.
But yeah. See, P-Dog Night. But Camel, will you drink a beer on a live stream?
if I had a beer to drink. I mean,
I have gin. I have plenty of gin.
I've got whiskey and
some
scotch.
vodka.
I think I have. Here's how much of a drinker I am. I think I have like 2 beers in my fridge that are about 2 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think I bought a 12 pack like 2 years ago. And I'm finally down to 2. I smoke my drugs, P-Dog.
Speaking of which,
not nearly as bad of a hangover. I mean, I'm an Indian. I got a peace pipe and everything, man.
oh man,
No, I thought about going to my where my reservation is, and then just researching and see if they have anything that is like native garb, and then just wear that for Halloween.
oh. Okay. Speaking of the smokables, it's funny it's brought up because I'm actually writing down recipes and instructions for some treats and meals that require such things. And I'm hoping to start a new project where I make some videos about them.
Oh, speaking of smokables, I had a dude come into the store the other night to buy a pack of cigarettes, and he used his weed card for identification. Because
Nice.
we finally passed medical marijuana in Oklahoma, which I was kind of shocked, to be honest. We were the second to last state to legalize tattooing.
Wow.
And that didn't happen until, I want to say 2002 or 3. Somewhere around there. Yeah, like we beat out South Carolina to say, yes, you can go ahead and, put ink in your body if you want to. But yeah, he brought his weed card, and I just looked at him like, really, man? He's like, what? It's like, it's got my picture on it, my date of birth. I was like, yeah, but are you telling me you didn't have any other government ID to get this government ID? This is the one you had to bring up here?
Yeah, he was just happy to get it and eager to flash it around.
Oh yeah, like the first dude that did that, because he's not the first one.
Of course.
The first one, he came in and he thought it was like the suitcase from Pulp Fiction. He's like, man, you want to see the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life? And I'm sitting here, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and like this black dude's reaching into his coat, and I don't know what the fuck he's pulling out. And so I'm sitting there like, all right. He pulls out, like a fucking cop, dude. He pulls it out of his pocket, and just puts it up in my face.
Wow.
And it's like Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. I was, okay, cool, dude. It's like, it's been fairly easy to get weed without one of those cards, right?
Yeah, no shit.
I thought about getting one just to get one. And I mean,
Well, the funny thing is like there for a while, because they just passed it last year and got it to go into effect fairly quickly afterwards. But they were having a hard time getting doctors to sign up to participate, Like, a state of, was it like 7-8 million people? There were only 40 doctors registered last time I checked. Meanwhile, the number of dispensaries that have been applying for applications has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Like there are 6 people have filed applications just in my town. There are like 10 in my area that are supposed to be coming up. But
we have one here that's having some problems.
I'm half tempted to try and sign up just to see if the Ron White defense will work. What condition do you have that you think marijuana might help alleviate? Well, I get kind of bummed when I run out of weed.
Well, my friend told me that he went in and just said, "I'm stressed,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "There's no way in hell that would work."
Oh, you'd be surprised.
But yeah, I mean, just and I went to the first meeting they had of was it Normal National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws up in Tulsa, and this was going on almost 10 years ago now. And I remember the guy who was sitting there trying to lead this discussion from the organization. He started off talking about medical marijuana, and I rolled my eyes at that immediately. I was like, dude, I was like, I was like, it's 2009, dude. I tried pulling the current year argument before it was cool. That's how much of a hipster I am. And I was like, dude, it's 2009. Like, just tell him, fuck you. I want to smoke some weed. Which is why I'm not in politics. But it's like, oh, we're going to start with medical marijuana. Then, like, yeah. It's going to take 20 years for me to just be able to smoke a joint because I want to. Fuck you. The best part of that meeting, though, was like the poor guy who was in there trying to talk. He was sitting there trying to talk to a room full of potheads. It was like herding cats for him.
Yeah, you kind of have to have attention at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, because to a man, every single one of these people came in ripped. I mean, just completely oven baked. And so, like, there was one dude who was just in the front of the room, just making an ass of himself. He must have had some good shit. But I'm just sitting there the whole time. I was like, man, I'm just gonna start saying I'm a pot smoker because you motherfuckers give potheads a bad name.
I've already done that.
Also, I call myself a pot smoker because I don't have the engineering background that potheads have. Those motherfuckers can make a pipe out of anything. Me, I buy mine.
Oh man, a fucking aluminum can, a fruit or vegetable. Fuck yeah, I've made pipes out of those.
See, I'm not that committed.
Well, I worked in the kitchen, and people would come and ask me. This was when it was a lot more liberal with the rules and before it was legal in Canada. But people would come ask me to go smoke weed during the shift for a smoke break, and we'd be like, cool. Then we get up there, they'd be like, do you have a pipe or something? I'm like, no, that's how you had it prepared. You offered, you're supposed to have it prepared. That's the common courtesy. That's common sense. Like, shit, what are we going to do? And they're like, don't worry, I got this. They go inside and they fucking grab an apple and a piece of tinfoil, and they cut 2 holes in the apple, put the tinfoil over, poke some holes in, boom.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. I'm too
fair.
lazy for that.
That's fair. Plus, they don't last that long anyways. Like a couple of uses, and then you're throwing it out.
I mean, I always admired the creativity, but I was just like, dude, really? You have way too much time on your hands. Yeah. I knew one guy. He would make pipes out of everything. Everything. It's like, you do realize if you actually applied yourself, you could go work for fucking NASA or something, right?
I knew a guy in high school who carved pipe and shit.
Oh man, I'm curious to see how medical marijuana is going to work in Oklahoma. To be honest with you, because now that it's out in the open, I can't imagine it's going to be much better.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're probably going to have like just groups of hippies in a circle at the park. Of course, it can't be near the school.
I don't know about hippies. I mean, this is still Oklahoma.
Good point.
I mean, I think the closest thing we get to like any kind of hippie congregation is like a Rocklahoma. That's like the big rock music outdoor festival they have every Memorial Day weekend.
Sounds
So
like our Rockin' the Rivers.
yeah, I mean they get some decent bands to come out and perform, but yeah, that's just there's too many people for me, and I don't enjoy live music that much to hang out with a bunch of drunk stoned people who it's like a microcosm of like like being on the border, because you're not supposed to bring in any drugs or alcohol, but everyone tries to sneak in drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So you just see like these rednecks just with the most creative ways they can think up of how to put a false bottom in a beer cooler or something.
No, yeah, my first concert that I've gone by myself was a Warped Tour, and it was about as stressful as you'd think for someone who doesn't like being around people.
Yeah, I prefer the indoor stadium concerts or something. At least that way there's working plumbing if I gotta go take a shit or something. But the last concert I actually went to was over 10 years ago now. I went and saw Tool on their 10,000 Days tour up in Oklahoma City.
Nice.
And it was funny because I went with a bunch of coworkers, and for some reason, even though I was the youngest one there, I was the one driving, and it's we worked in a fast food restaurant, so they're all just passing joints around the whole time. Yeah. I'm like, I know Tulsa. I don't know Oklahoma City. You might not want to hotbox this car, otherwise we might not make it. But we got up there with a couple hours to spare, and my boss was like, "Hey, let's go to Tapworks." I was like, "Well, what the fuck's Tapworks?" It was like a beer bar in Bricktown. Mm-hmm. And I was 18. I was like, so what? Am I just going to stand outside while you guys get hammered and then drive your drunk asses to the concert? He's like, no, you're going to come in with us. And even though I was smoking weed and everything, I was still kind of a good kid back then.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's a bar. I can't go into a bar. He's like, dude, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just walk in like you own the place. He was fucking right too. I just walked in the middle of the group. I went and sat down at a table with like half of them. The other half went up there, got pitchers of beer, and that was probably the best beer I've ever had in my life. I have to say,
the best beer you can ever have is the one you steal.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It was I can't remember the name of it, but it was this 12-point German lager. And it went down so smooth, and it just made you feel tingly, like it was giving you a hug from the inside.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, every beer I've tried, it's just like, yeah, it's not as good. Still trying to chase that dragon.
I walk into the Warhammer store and I come out and we're talking about smoking weed, man.
Smoking weed and underage drinking. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Don't look up the Minions of the Zoo stream when I was at MythCon. Don't do it.
I think I actually watched that when you were sloppy drunk.
I was drunk and I was also in fucking orbit. I was that high.
Yes, I recommend looking it up.
Don't do it. Don't.
I was debating. I was like, which one is more, inebriated? I was trying to decide if it was you or Adam, and I just couldn't figure it out.
Well, after the stream cut out, Adam passed out. I didn't.
So you win by default.
Yes.
I gotta say, my greatest high moment. We were having a party at my friend's apartment in a city north of here, and he heard like some racket coming from downstairs, and they lived in. It was kind of this duplex that got subletted to like a duplex. So there's 2 apartments pretty much in one house, and it was built just like a house that had that separation. And so we go down there thinking, we'll just combine the parties and go from there. And yeah, we met the whole bunch of kids that were there, and we're drinking kids under the table, and I use that term precisely because it turns out the youngest person there was 15, and the oldest person there was me.
Wow.
I was 21 at the time. I was the only one that was 21 at the time, and I was high out of my mind. And when I get that high, I essentially turn into a panda. And where I'm just sitting there, and I look around, and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. What's going on over here? Oh, look, that's nice too. Oh, look at everything's cool." And so, yeah, I'm sitting around, and my friends are out trying to like get these kids to pass out from being high because they'd just gotten a supply from a guy they knew. And this guy was so high that like he could barely hold his eyes open. Like he was like, I'm surprised they even had him upright. And all of a sudden, like I'm sitting there, I'm drunk, I'm having a good time, and all of a sudden I hear "cop," and just like a flood of people just out the door. And like so I only heard "cop," but it didn't register in my head that they meant like police. And so yeah, I'm just watching all these people just bail, and I'm like, oh, what's going on over there? And so I'm in this room with these 2 girls, and they're talking about freaking out, and they're looking for oh, my parents are gonna kill me and all this stuff. And I'm like, where'd my friends go? Like, I don't care about your. I was surrounded by people I know, and now there's no one. There's you 2. And so, all this is in a matter of like 10 minutes. And like you can still look out and you still see kids like running through the streets, and cops are still like following them. And it's like there was a lot of cops at that party. Like I'm surprised it ended how it did. And the way to get from their apartment to my friend's apartment was to go out the door, just down the sidewalk, and then down another sidewalk, and then just turn up. So you had to go all the way around this place. There was no other way around there. And you couldn't just climb up because it was walled off. And so my friends were like, "Oh God, we're looking for John. We're looking for John." And I go, "Oh, there my friends are." And they're all getting in my car. Like they're just, "Oh, we're going to go on a beer run, whatever, what's going on over here?" Like just completely ignorant of the fact that like cops are arresting these teenagers by the handful. And so I see my friends get in my car, And I'm like, oh, well, I'll just walk out the door, just casually. And as I open the door and I take the first, it's a 3-step to the ground. I take 3 steps to the ground and I see a kid just run past me and a cop right behind him. And I'm standing there like an idiot. And the cop just ignores me and just keeps following the kid. And then they like run right past in front of me. And then I just walk to my car and I get in the back seat and I'm like, hey fellas, how's it going? Just as butters as you can get. And like, I'm like, hey fellas, how's it going? And they're just like, and my friend just turns to my roommate and he goes, fucking drive now, just go. Like, and so yeah, we got out of there. And they're just like, how did you even get out of there? And I'm just like, I just saw you guys and I just walked. He's like, you didn't see any cops? I'm like, there are cops here? Like just totally.
There's the one that tackled that kid.
I'm like, yeah, I only saw the one that was in front of me. And he's just like, he just walked right past you. I'm like, yeah. And yeah, so yeah, they ended up getting a bunch of MIPs. 2 kids got arrested for resisting, and then I think 1 got an assault charge.
Oh, nice.
No, and then none of us got in trouble for it. Like we all got out free.
I had a similar situation when I was in college. But the way it started was my first semester, we didn't have a house to go to party. So like you had just a bunch of college kids out in the middle of bumfuck Oklahoma, like drinking around like an oil rig with a campfire like idiots. So the second semester rolls around, and I'm tired of freezing my balls off just to drink a few beers and get shot down by an Oklahoma 6. Finally, we end up meeting a dude who started going to the college. You know, it's a small school, so you tend to meet everyone fairly quickly. And he was old enough that he had his own place off campus. And we all started going there. And the way everyone had their schedule set up, there was like 4 party nights a week.
Nice.
You know, everyone decided, you know, everyone wised up and put, you know, down for Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. So they'd go to class and then, you know, get hammered afterwards, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And we're hanging out at this house and we're drinking. And the way it was set up, they had, like you had the living room with the front door, and it was a straight shot to the back door through the dining room. And you had the kitchen off to the side of the dining room, and then you had, you know, off the living room, you had a hallway to go down to the bathrooms and the bedrooms. Well, they had the dining room table set up to play beer pong, and me and my buddy killed it every night. They had a 3-and-out rule because of us. Otherwise, we'd run the table all night. And so we're sitting there playing one night, and we noticed that some of these people at the party we don't recognize. And it being a small school, everyone pretty much knows somebody who knows everyone. So we go up to the guys that are renting this place, and we know all of them, and you know, hang out. It's like, look, dude, do you know these people? Because we don't know these people. Who are these people? And you know, so they start going around and like, yeah, we don't know this person. We don't know that. You know, yeah, high school kids from the local high school somehow had infiltrated our college parties. And the first thing we're thinking, because this was a junior college too, so this is a 2-year college. Nobody is supposed to be drinking.
Yeah, yeah.
except for the guys who like, are renting the house because, they, for whatever reason, went to college late. And so like we go ahead and I nearly started a fucking riot getting these people out of there. And the very next party we throw, cops show up. Me and my buddy are playing beer pong, and it just so happens that the door opens up from the dining room, the back door, right next to the table. So every time somebody would go in or out, I would automatically take like 2 big steps back so that way there's a clear path for them. Because I'm courteous like that, even when I'm drunk. Well, this one time the door opens, and as I see it out of the corner of my eye start to open, I take my 2 big steps back. It's the local cops. There's 2 cruisers, one in the front and one in the back of the house. Apparently, there had been a noise complaint, or so they said. I'm thinking we got snitched out by some high school kids.
Oh yeah.
Some salty little sophomore in high school was pissed off that they weren't able to come to our college parties anymore. But so I take these 2 big steps back, and it's police, and they say, hey, police, turn the music down. And, they had that cop voice going. So even over a loud ass stereo, people heard them and turned that shit down. Like, all of you, line up outside. They hadn't seen me yet because I was halfway in the kitchen at this point. Everyone starts filtering out. Some folks try to run out the front door when they got busted immediately. But, everyone starts lining up. And some of my friends, they're at the end of the line. There are only 4 cops there. There's probably 50 of us crammed into this house. And so since they're at the end of the line and the cops are at the other end, they make a break for it. They run into a local apartment complex where another one of our buddies lives, and they just hide out in his apartment. Once they get everyone out of the house, they send the guys renting the place back in to make sure nobody else is in the house. And as they're making their sweep, I'd worked my way to the back of the kitchen, and there happened to be a space between the wall and the refrigerator. So I just kind of shimmied my way in there. And as the last guy was coming out, he kind of glanced in the kitchen. And he saw me poking my head out to see if anybody else was, coming or going. And he just sees my head poking around from the refrigerator. I just put my finger up to my lips like, shh. And he closed the door behind him. So I army crawled my way through the kitchen, down the hallway, and into one of the bedrooms, up under this dude's bed, and I hid myself behind his guitar case. Like 20 minutes later, or at least it felt like 20 minutes later, I was drunk, so. But I hear these girls crying because they can't find, like her phone, and, they got to call somebody to come get them, and... they're just bawling their eyes out, and they leave. I hear the door close again, and a few minutes later, I hear the door open, and it's the guys that live there. I hear them talking, and so I call one of them from underneath this dude's bed. I was like, "Hey, are the cops gone?" He's like, "Yeah." "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'll be out in a minute." I crawl back out from under this dude's bed. I just walk down the hall like nothing happened. They're like, where were you, dude? I was like, I was under Jeremiah's bed. How'd you get back there? Well, when JT closed the door. But then like an hour or 2 later, the friends that I came to the party with finally call me because they realized, oh shit. He's missing and we don't know where he is. And they're like, where are you at, dude? I was like, I'm still at the house drinking. Wait, you're at the house drinking? Yeah, dude. How did you get away? I was like, I hid. How'd you get away? We ran. I was like, well, if you guys want to come back and hang out, there's still like 2 cases of beer here, and I don't think I can finish it all by myself. I mean, I gave it a valiant effort, but yeah, that was my one close encounter with the cops while I was underage drinking. And then shortly thereafter, I became of legal age, and I realized drinking wasn't nearly that much fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not as taboo when you can do it legally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, then you got to be responsible. If you go out to a bar, you got to find some way to get back. Because I'm not stopping. I'm not going to sit at a bar to sober up to drive home.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough there for a while that for like a year, I had a bar 2 blocks from my house before it finally went out of business because I was the only person showing up on a regular basis.
Hey man, it's a bar I can walk home from. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little beer bar. Had a couple of pool tables, a dartboard, jukebox.
If it's within staggering distance, it's good to go.
Right?
It was. The funny thing was, is like I had to walk past City Hall. I had to walk past City Hall to get to my house, which it's a town of less than I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 people in the whole town. So City Hall is also, the fire department and the police station. And it was always funny because the bartender would always be like, are you sure you can walk home? I was like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, it's just right, 2 blocks. I can walk 2 blocks. And she's like, well, I mean, you gotta walk right past the police station. I was like, yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. They're not sitting at the police station right now.
I take it you're on your computer now, Quiz?
Yes, I got back home.
Okay.
So it should sound a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's another reason for us to commit
drink.
Oh, the Carmen Sandiego reboot? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Christ.
Wait. There's a reboot?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Netflix reboot.
A full-fledged reboot.
Yeah, she's like in high school now, too.
Are you? No.
Because that's the way that we get the kids, is to relate to the kids by making the kid a kid.
I mean, wasn't she like an international thief and everything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of find it hard to believe she's, cat burgling in between, third and fourth period.
Crime School.
Crime School, is that accredited?
I mean, the question is, does it get you into like the evil doctorate program?
Well, how does you think Dr. Evil became Dr. Evil?
Exactly, right?
And not thank you very much.
That's interesting. Terry got stopped by police on suspicion of robbing a service station once. Well, did you do it? Terry, did you knock over a convenience store? Be honest now. Statute of limitations is up, isn't it?
Depending on how long ago it was.
Well, I mean, it is a prison colony. Surely they don't, hold that long.
Yeah. I do know that the Australians definitely do hold grudges against emus for that long, but
I've been stopped walking by police on 2 separate occasions. And my favorite one was like it was in my hometown. And like I said, 2,000 people, tops. Most of us know each other. And so I was walking, it's like half a mile from where I used to live to the local convenience store. And I was broke, so I scrounged all of my change, which I really hate it when people do it to me now, but I can relate. I scrounged on my pennies to buy like a single cigar because I was, having a Nick fit, and I'd carried it in a Eskimo Joe cup, like a little plastic drink cup. As I'm walking to the store, police officer passes me, stops, reverses. Mind you, this is on a highway going through our town. Doesn't turn around. He just, throws it in reverse and just drives backwards. And he spotlights me. I'm not even standing 10 feet away from him on the sidewalk. And he just kind of sticks his head out the window of his car. He's like, "Where are you going?" It's like, "To the store." He's like, "Oh, why are you going to the store?" And I just held up this cup of change and rattled it at him. I was like, "I'm going to buy shit, man." What do you think I'm doing? Which, thankfully I had white privilege and he didn't shoot me dead right then.
Now, I love that per capita line they keep throwing in whenever they bring up police shootings.
Yeah, because if you throw in, if you use like per capita, Indians actually get shot more by cops than black people.
Yeah, almost everyone gets shot by cops more than black people per capita.
Because I post. My friend was always the college guy.
Oh yeah,
professor. He's
professor.
He's a professor.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always like, "Yeah, why do you think this happens?" And I'm like, well, if you're gonna take a population where 80% of the people are black, of course more black people are gonna get shot by police. And then if you take the next town over, and 80% of the population is, say, Native American, more Native Americans are going to get shot there by police. Do you think that could mean that there is a police issue or a race issue? Especially when most of those police are either black or Native American.
That's just internalized white supremacy, Johnny. Duh.
Oh, Prospero can't make it.
No, I remember having that conversation in a sociology class in college, which I had the one sociology class, and it soured me on the whole subject of sociology. I just, first of all, we didn't have a textbook. It was all online research, which immediately almost fried my brain because I'm like, all right, so are we all supposed to go to the same website? Or no. You just you do a online research. You find sources and you bring them to class for us to discuss. It's like, okay, well, we're all going to have different source material. We're not going to have standardized stuff to talk about. And it was all dealing with different social problems. Drugs, crime, race, all kinds of different stuff. And it was hilarious because I had the very first week we started talking about drug use in America, drug crime in America, policing of drugs in America, and I'm for them. So I was just sitting there, and we had this one lady who, she was probably in her 30s in the class, and I don't remember her actual name, but I just remember calling her Sister Christian because she was going to do a missionary trip to Africa or South America. And so she wasn't going to be there for the whole class. And very first day we find out, yeah, she's a reformed pillhead. You know, she had been a junkie, you know, before she found Jesus and got clean. And so she was very much against, you know, legalizing any drugs, you know, even weed. And she and I butted heads immediately because of that. I was like, look, just because you can't handle your drugs doesn't mean I can't handle mine. So why don't you mind your own goddamn business, lady? You know, go save the pygmies in Africa and leave me alone.
Yeah, we have a great tradition here in America where it's you can do what you want, just leave me alone. And it goes back to what you were saying before, hey Campbell, before I hopped on about the German lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Terry here said, I think in interest of equality, the police should shoot innocent people to get the numbers to match the population. Now, I get that's a joke, Terry, but have you heard about the one cop with the AR-15 who had "you're fucked" etched on the barrel that shot and killed an exterminator because someone called the cops on him, and that cop went in there looking to kill someone?
God, I hated that story. I actually watched the video.
So did I. It got
that was gross.
It got posted on 4chan's live, or a 4chan thread on Live Leaks, and yeah, I watched that video. It was disgusting. And that cop, if there's any credence to the argument of bringing back drawing and quartering, I think that cop should be the first one to test that method of punishment.
And he got acquitted too.
Yes, he did.
I mean,
he's not a cop anymore, but yeah, he got acquitted. And he gunned an innocent man to death.
All because his basketball shorts were falling.
Yeah.
And the guy was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Begging for his life. Sobbing. And they put 5 rounds in him.
It's disgusting.
And it wasn't even they, it was all him.
Yeah, it was all just that one guy.
All because he had like a couple of pellet rifles in his hotel room while he was drinking with a chick and showing them off to her before he was trying to make sexy time.
Well, he was an exterminator.
Yeah.
They were for his job.
Exactly. Well, there was a kid in South Carolina, I think, got shot in a fast food driveway. I can't remember. God, I wish I could remember the whole story about that one. But like he was, like a teenage kid, and I don't think they even stopped to tell him to get out of the car. They just opened fire on that dude, Bonnie and Clyde style.
Yeah, it's disgusting how some of these cops act. Absolutely fucking disgusting.
Which is really weird because, again, I grew up in a rural area, so small population density. You tend to have face to face with police, fire service, EMS. You tend to know these people, so stuff like that does not happen nearly at the rate that it happens in Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Which they had a shooting in Oklahoma City last year, the year before. It was a deaf guy, and the cops rolled up on him, and he had a pipe in his hand, and he was walking towards them, and while they were giving him commands, drop the pipe, put your hands up and everything, they didn't hear his neighbors, yelling that he's deaf, or whatever. And so he kept walking towards them, and they shot him. But,
he had it coming. He should have not been deaf.
Well, my argument was, he may have been deaf, but he wasn't fucking blind. He could see cops reaching for their guns, and he had a pipe in his hand. I'm not saying he deserved to die, but, if I were in that cop's shoes and this dude just started walking up to me with a lead pipe, yeah, I don't know what I would do. That's why I'm not a cop.
I'm not a cop because I probably have to go outside to be one.
Also, I couldn't pass the drug screening, so I mean, there's that too.
Mm-hmm.
They want cops to be sober for some reason.
I venture to guess that most cops are not sober.
Oh yeah.
They have some vice that they indulge in.
Nothing stronger than donuts, surely.
Well, in that one cop's case, the with the dude with the pellet guns, his was his god complex. That's definitely what he was indulging in.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was his rifle. That was not police issue.
His personal rifle, yes.
But
Where's there's an update on that guy? I'm gonna take a look.
Because
what?
I'm gonna see if there's an update on anything about that guy.
Let's see.
I saw a story a couple days ago out of Arkansas where a sheriff's deputy in some county shot a dog for no reason.
Oh, I heard about that.
He did get fired, but yeah, like they showed the video. I think it was Breaking 911 is the Twitter account I saw it on, and they showed the video, and it's a little lap dog. Like, I mean, this thing couldn't have bit his ankle. That's how small it was. And yeah, he just puts a round in it, and I have to give the owner so much credit because at that I have a very soft spot for animals, mammals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck you, snake lovers. You know. and iguanas, any other lizards, those are just snakes with legs. You know, I'm team mammal. But if a cop had shot my dog, and luckily this dog survived. It needs surgery, but it survived. Either I would have ended up dead or that cop would have. Because there was no excuse for that.
Have you guys heard of a YouTube channel called We the Internet TV?
I've seen a few of their videos on Twitter. I didn't know they had an actual YouTube account.
Yeah, and they actually did a video on that. It was like how the police can improve their image, and it was just one lesson: don't shoot the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's some dogs that, they can be deadly, right? Like if you see a fucking a massive fucking pit bull or a Rottweiler or something like that, that it can be a deadly weapon in some cases. Okay, I get it. But a Chihuahua, a little lapdog, you fucking kidding me?
This was maybe a 10-pound, like long-haired Chihuahua or some kind of terrier mix.
Yeah, that's no danger to you at all.
I mean, if it lunged at him, it wouldn't even reach his knee.
Those are the type of dogs that like you just do that feint at and they run off.
Yeah, you just take one kind of stomp step towards them and they piss themselves and scurry.
Yeah. I'm reading right here. This is by the Associated Press, published in the New York Post. The ex-cop is acquitted of shooting of unarmed man at hotel. December 8th. That's the last news I can find of him.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the dude was smart, he probably, like changed his name, documentation, moved. I mean,
he shouldn't be alive. Sorry, that's the sort of man, with that sort of power, given that sort of power, and that's how he acts. Yeah, no, he's forfeited all rights, in my opinion.
Oh, here's something from the ACLU. Let's see. I'll start with the paragraph before. There's no training that justifies the behavior seen on the video. Screaming at a person that is crying cannot be a legitimate technique for officer training. And if Shaver did something threatening, why was Brailsford the only officer who fired his weapon? Not just once or twice, but 5 times. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Shaver was white. Deliberate or unconscious racial bias played no role. Black or brown skin was not a proxy for threat. No shit. That's like that for most of the ones that you see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few that are like, you can be like, oh, that's some bullshit. But like the one where the guy was cuffed and he was like limping off, and the guy shot him.
Yeah, I think I heard about that on Lords of the Night or something. But I've heard something similar to that. And I got shot in the back as he was sort of hobbling off.
Yeah, like he could have not even done a full sprint. He could have just galloped and caught up to him.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think that the police can do that much damage if it's the wrong policeman. I mean, like, get the wrong person in that job, and it's kind of a lot of damage can be done to society with just one bad cop.
Yeah.
I think a better punishment would have been, because that Shavers guy, he had I think at least one child, if I'm not mistaken. He was a father.
Mm-hmm.
I think a better punishment would have been, no, we're going to keep you as a cop, but now half of your pay and your pension goes to taking care of that kid. You don't get a gun anymore. We're going to give you a rape whistle, and now you're just going to direct traffic and be a meter maid.
No. If you're going to go that far, no. Have him still go around in all of the incredibly high crime areas all around the city, but give him no weapons at all. No taser, no nightstick, no fucking gun.
Like I said, he gets a rape whistle.
He's going to need it.
And the when I said being the meter maid directing traffic of in the high crime area, that goes without saying.
Yeah. No, in my opinion, he should need a rape whistle. Yes, because he should be in prison being raped right now. But that's okay.
Jesus.
Or you can give him the rape whistle in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, that was only contingent on him being acquitted.
Yeah, free. Yeah.
Obviously, if justice were to have prevailed, he would be in prison.
Yes,
but
there's so few things that get my hackles up really, really badly, but that case was one of them. Oh, just makes me so angry.
Yes, I can tell. It's but angry quiz is good quiz, so I mean, I'm all for it.
I haven't been I haven't gone audibly angry like that in a long time. It was really early Minions that I did. Yeah,
no, but it's always good to watch you sort of rage out.
Yeah, I think the last time I seen it was before I joined the Minion crew. Which was also the first time I seen it. So.
Yeah, it's highly entertaining. So if you can piss yourself off before every Monday stream, that's
all right. I'll have to make a ritual of checking Feminist 40K.
Oh,
I remember that.
Since we got on the subject of the Monday streams, I remember you had said for me to come on sometime when you're hosting. It just so happens I have a Monday free next month.
All right, sounds good.
I'll be able to make it.
Okay.
My boss told me if I wanted to, I could take off my birthday.
Oh, nice.
So, since I work, since I'm really the only one that works the overnight shift, I didn't really plan on taking off. Then he said something about that. I was like, yeah, I could take off on Monday. Switch days with somebody. So yeah, I'm gonna, and it's also gonna be on Satsu's night. So I'm gonna throw him some money and make him sing.
He'll love that.
He does not sing. He does not.
Oh well, I mean, I don't care if Satsu doesn't sing.
But you
Monkey,
want
Monkey and Scry will make up for it. And
Yeah.
since I'll be having a milestone birthday, Satsu can share my pain.
Or just say it's for Squishy to make sure Satsu sings the lullabies to the kid when it's born.
Make sure he sings sings the
And then
lullabies to Baby Concretia.
And then, in brackets, and record it for us later.
I'm just gonna tell him, like, gentlemen, do your worst. Let's lower the bar.
Oh God, can it get lower?
I had to put that 5 cents in.
No, that was hilarious.
I was debating whether or not I was going to, but on the last nipple stream, I used the one line that I would want to use for one of those streams, using a Silence of the Lambs. It puts the lotion on its skin.
I was tempted to do a follow up because I said I've got your back, Monkey, and followed up with another super chat saying, "But Lady Monkey has your front." But then I realized that because I put 1995 as the amount, he can't super chat 5 cents. So maybe next time I'll do 18 and 2, so I can do the small super chat.
Yeah, because they don't let you put any text, anything under $2, do they?
Yes, you get 50 characters. $1 you can't say anything.
Yeah.
$2 you get 50. $5 it's 150, and then I've never needed more than that. So even when I donate more,
20 it's like 300 and 375, I think.
Yeah, it's not each increment gives you fewer and fewer extra characters. It's not
So
like,
how many characters did Mashisu waste last night when she dropped that couple of C notes?
The $200 one, and then a couple of 20s.
But the $200 one, yeah, that was not nearly a long enough message to be spending $200 on.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend $200. I'm gonna fill up that entire thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll rewrite the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't care.
Just start throwing names out from the phone book, man. They still have those, right? Find an old one from like in the 90s.
Just type in names the shout outs as the stream is just going up.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I could justify $200 super chats. Like I've got money, but not throw away $200 on.
Yeah, that was my thought. Is like, how much money does she have that she can just be like, oh, yeah, I'll just drop this $200 here?
Because she's done that a couple of times for the nipple streams too. If you see me dropping a $200 super chat, it means I just won the Powerball and I'm on my way to buy my own island, and you'll never see me again.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
except for then the odd stream.
Yeah,
as long as we hear from you, that's fine.
Yeah. For the sake of a super chat, it's not worth 200. Like, I get that you want to support the creator, but what you're receiving is not worth $200, no matter how many characters you use.
Yeah,
I mean, unless she's writing it off as charity on her taxes. I gave this crippled dude in Michigan like $140, and I gave Google 60.
I supported a cripple in his masochist habits.
Alternative lifestyle.
There you go. That's better.
I do think
We're
it's
trying to
funny.
be inclusive.
People say that I should use Streamlabs because they get more of the money. Well, I'm happy for Monkey to pay 30% for me to get my message pinned to the top of the chat. It's him paying it, not me. So, yeah,
fair enough.
I'll do the thing that actually benefits me the most. It,
Yeah, and
I
then
can only do you.
between Bear's stream this morning and then Monkey in the morning, it was very sexually charged, I guess.
yeah. Monkey in the morning was making
So-
me shudder with the stuff they were talking about.
Because I walked in on Bear's stream and then they were talking about dick massages, boobs, and Riley Dennis.
Oh God.
And then I
must have
left
come in
that
after that.
stream and then went to Monkey in the morning and they were talking about butt stuff.
Yeah.
Butt
That-
stuff and squirting.
Dorky is fucking nuts. She's. I like her, but she's fucking crazy.
Yeah. What part of Upside Down Land is she in again?
Brisbane, I think. I think she's in Queensland.
Ah, okay.
I know that it's not New South Wales or Victoria because me, Peter, and her are all in different states, and Far for that matter, are all in different states.
Yeah, I know. Was it Peter's in Melbourne?
Yep.
Far is out in Perth.
Yep.
And you're where? In Sydney?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, Punisher is also in Sydney.
Oh, cool.
I think Bering and Sugar Tits are also in Melbourne, right?
Well,
Yeah,
didn't they
they
move
are.
up north?
They might not be in Melbourne, but they're still in Victoria, I believe.
Oh, okay. I thought that they moved way up north. Like they're not even in the same state anymore.
Oh, okay.
They were. I think they were there and then they moved. Yeah.
You know, that
Good
reminds me. The only time I ever see Bering is on the salt mine. Now I don't ever see videos from Bering.
Yeah, I
or
haven't seen
Sugar
them.
Tits, for that
Yeah, I
matter.
haven't seen a Bering video in a long time, but
Live streams make more money.
True.
Yeah. Well, didn't Bering have like a series that he was gonna do where it's just like, you know, candid conversations with people? I know he had one with was it Worski and Tonkasaw way back in the day.
I don't. I think I remember that. I think he did one with the Candid Lady as well, and that what's her name, Bindu Reddy, who ran Candid, and
Mm-hmm.
She
I know he
doxed
did
him.
that. Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh, she was the one that doxed Bering? I thought it was Christy Winters.
Well,
no. Bindu Reddy gave out his first name, like she referred to him as Patrick rather than Bering.
Oh.
And then Christy did the proper full-on doxing, but yeah, Bindu Reddy was the one who made it known that his name was Patrick.
I will say it again to reiterate: if you dox, you're a piece of shit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no excuses. You don't do that.
I'll drink to that.
I mean, if it's an accident, it's an accident. Like she didn't deliberately call him Patrick to dox him. It was just a slip of the tongue.
Well, I'm talking
I mean,
about Winters.
I
Winters
went ahead and doxed myself just to cut people off, you know.
I'm talking about doxing other people.
Yes. You know, my full name is Horatio Octavius Camelson. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, Google doxed me to the camel.
How did it do that? Was it something to do with?
When we're testing out Rabbit to see about watching the comedy streams.
Oh, right, yeah. Because
when he set up.
that happened to Gabby as well. It put her. I remember it put her first name. I don't know if it put her surname as well. But it's like, oh, okay, Gabby is her name. Okay, cool.
And say that some of the people on Minions know my name because a buddy of mine was on Discord and let people know that I probably won't be coming back because I was drunk as fuck. But like I was.
Your name is Inquisitor.
Yeah, my name is Inquisitor. My name, or like I was retching in the bathroom. Just I was throwing up my guts, and yeah, he comes in and uses my first name, and people are like, "Who's that?" I got mad at him afterwards, but like while I was drunk, I was all like, man, I don't care.
That actually happened to Blind Press on one of her gaming streams. Her sister took a phone call and she put the mother on speakerphone, and they just used real names because it's just a mother and daughter talking. But I don't think they realized they were broadcasting it to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Skep accidentally doxed her too.
When did that happen? I heard
one of the coffee streams.
Okay.
He Pencalo sent a link to Skep about a local news story that BP was, written about, and he started using her last name without realizing it while he was reading the story.
Oh,
and then he went ahead and doxed himself because he felt bad.
Yeah.
I was just sitting in chest like, Jesus, Skip, what are you doing?
He's old enough; he doesn't care.
That's why I decided to go ahead and dox myself. It's like, I'm going to beat Skip to it.
So instead of being exposed, I expose myself. Please, there are women present.
Pardon me while I whip this thing out.
If you need help figuring out my real name, then I can't help you.
I know it begins with a T, right?
You're on the right track.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, crap. I thought
Spoiler alert, Terry is Kaiser Sose.
Yeah. I've never needed to really hide my identity. There's nothing that crazy people can do to me that I'm really that concerned about.
Yeah, It wasn't Gabriel Byrne, man. It was Terry all along.
Plot twist. It was Lon Chaney.
Like none of the places I worked at would have fired me over anything I did on the internet. They wouldn't have given a shit. So that's like the main reason people try and hide their identity, from what I've seen. Unless you get big enough that you get like legitimate death threats. But even if I pissed off half of America, no one in the companies I work for would give half a shit. Okay.
I'm just curious, because like me and Quiz and Hayes are all using pseudonyms for the most part. Have either of you guys reverse dox yourself?
What do you mean?
Yeah. How do you mean?
Oh well, I remember Polly asking this question in a stream once. I don't remember where, but like when you're talking to people in real life and you accidentally say it's like, oh well, somebody said, hey, hate Camel. And it's like, oh shit.
No.
No.
I mean, my screen name, as far as I have one, is Terry Zolt, and I've never referred to myself as that.
Yeah.
In real life.
I didn't include you because
I've done it talking to people about streams I've been on in conversations. Like this person said, "Hey, Della Hayes did blah blah blah" or something like that. But that's just to tell them what happened, like about something that I thought was interesting that I thought they might find enjoyable.
Like as far as
I've showed some folks like my Twitter, and the ones that actually know that I think the only people that know I've done any YouTubing at all is like family, my girlfriend, my boss. When I was telling her about possibly starting to do live streams, she's like, "Oh yeah, well, like what kind of stuff are you gonna do?" And I immediately turned into Satsu. I was just like, stuff and things. Little of this, little of that. I don't know.
I've told people that basically people just keep inviting me on streams, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll join. I don't think any of them would ever watch anything that I've done. Like they didn't even ask what channels I was streaming on, so they kind of been too interested.
Well, I mean that's why I keep talking as much as I do on these streams, because I want to stretch it out as long as possible. So that way, when they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, well, we got this really cool 3-hour stream where we talked about," and their eyes just glaze over immediately.
Yeah, I thought because I was gonna say that we were gonna end it in 15 minutes, 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. I'm like, yeah, we'll take questions from the audience, and then I realized it was only Terry in the audience, so I just brought him in. So
Well, there were other people before that I saw were chatting, but I think they've already gone. Like Sora Luna, P-Dog Knight.
I think I ran P-Dog off shitting on the Redskins.
Gabby
he,
apparently in the chat for a while.
Yeah, Gabby's at work. P-Dog, he said he was busy.
Fair enough. And Sora Luna said she's going to lunch. There you go. So they have.
And I was thinking about trying out the Streamlabs OBS, but I don't know how to use it. So
I think Hammer uses a Streamlabs
He
OBS.
uses OBS and he hates it, Streamlabs OBS.
He hates Streamlabs OBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's always saying that regular OBS is far more stable. And Streamlabs lets you do all sorts of fancy things, but it makes it an unstable platform.
Yeah.
And he says,
still here.
Yeah.
And so
Okay,
I
who
use
was it? I heard. Oh, you use Streamlabs? Okay.
Well, I don't use Streamlabs. I use just regular OBS.
Hmm.
I think
Vincent Veritas was the one who told me.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I know Della Hayes also uses Streamlabs OBS. And I know that's what he's trying to say, but he's roboting a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, P-Dog's still here.
I use
Okay.
Streamlabs OBS.
Oh, hey, P-Dog.
That come off clear?
Yeah, that came out better. Yeah, that was Vincent who was saying he preferred Streamlabs OBS. He said he liked it better than Studio. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Well, hello to you too.
Oh shit, Polydub's here.
Yeah, man, we thought you were on sabbatical. What's going on, dude?
Well, I'm not really on sabbatical. What the hell did I just?
There you go, P-Dog.
I think we got a Robo-Dog.
Yeah.
Okay, there. I had my my other thing here. No, I've been here listening. I've just been.
And do we need to separate the dog and the cat? Are they going to cause trouble together?
All right, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Lawyer P-Dog.
I need a lawyer, dog.
At this point, I think you should change your username on YouTube to just like P-Dog Knight Esquire.
Now.
Coming in kind of garbled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's cats and dogs streaming side by side. It's pandemonium, man.
I know.
Yeah. And there's even a camel thrown into the mix.
Figure that out. I'll be back.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, see, I am so scared of the day that I start roboting because I know I have no way to fix it.
Well,
just F5 repeatedly.
yeah, that was when I started roboting on Minions. That was what they said. Just refresh. Hopefully it worked. People said it did.
Yeah.
See, I have the opposite problem. I fear the day I stop roboting because I know I'm going to lose Terry as a viewer.
Nah, I'd probably still watch. It wouldn't be the same if I couldn't make fun of your Robo Delahazed, but
Well, yeah, I'm planning to do a lot more videos and streams this year.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like videos better than streams in terms of watching them, but one is pushing towards live streams because there's just way more money to be made in streams.
Yeah, well, it's not the big issue for me because, like, I'm not in it. I'm not in it for the
No,
money.
no, no. I know.
And until I can get a computer that is more stable for streams, I think doing what's easier and more fun, such as making videos, would be a better track.
Well, I did enjoy your Brutal Legend video because that's one of those games I've bought and I was like, oh, I really should play it, and I just never did. So now I'm more aware of, oh, that actually looks like a really cool game.
Well, it's funny. I was telling J-Kid in the comments there. He was complaining how I apparently missed every bad guy with the vehicle, and I'm like, well, to be fair, this is the second draft of the video. I had to restart and start all over again because the video I recorded, somehow all the data from the file went missing.
Ooh.
So I had to do it all over again, and I rushed through it. And I also mentioned how amazingly I didn't die. I don't think I died a single time in this run through. So in this one, the next video, I don't think I died at all, which really surprises me, especially considering I was rushing.
Yeah, and playing on the hardest setting.
Yeah, but like the first time, well, second time really, but technically, but.
So the best part about Brutal Legend is Jack Black is the voice of the main character.
Oh yeah. And I like how Kyle Gass is the
soundtrack
guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ozzy, I love Ozzy's character.
But I was impressed when Children of the Grave started playing as a battle thing. It's like, okay, I like this game.
Oh yeah, it's a shit ton of heavy metal and different types of metal music.
Yeah, I had a look at the soundtrack after I watched your videos. Like, I like this game even more now.
Oh yeah. That's basically what drew me into it. I saw it at the store when I first bought it back, I think when I was 19 or 20. And I'm looking at the game. It's like, oh, pretty cool. It's like a fucking old school war, like with axes and shit, no guns, and it's all based around music. All right. And I started playing, and it's like Jack Black.
Have you heard of a game called Karma Flow?
No, I don't think I have.
It's similar in that it's got the same kind of soundtrack, Dragon Force and Epica and Cradle of Filth and, all the sort of metal bands that you'd expect. But the game itself is crap, but the soundtrack is phenomenal. So either just buy the soundtrack on its own or get the game when it's cheap and just dick around and enjoy the music because I did really enjoy the soundtrack even if the game is shit.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed the soundtrack of the game for Brutal Legend because it showed me a shit ton of music I didn't even know about yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sweet. And ever since I first played it, I still can't go a day without hearing Through the Fire and Flames in my head.
Yeah.
The flame we carry on. Yeah. I know about that stuff because of old internet memes from like 2004.
Fair enough.
And say you need to go old school and go back to the YTMND days. You're the man now.
I was gonna say, like, I learned of Bon Jovi's "It's My Life" through an AMV back in the 90s or early 2000s, like late 90s or early 2000s, from AMV of a compilation of Dragon Ball Z movies.
And Camel is back with us.
Yeah, that was weird. I
went
to go scroll Twitter real fast to see if there's anything interesting, and all of a sudden it just got really quiet. And so I clicked back on the Hangouts, and I was like, did it just go quiet, or
Yeah,
is it my turn now?
That happened to me last Sunday night.
Mic check. Am I here? Am I guys?
Roboting a bit.
You're roboting at the beginning, but you're kind of coming in clear a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm downloading some stuff. I'm gonna pop.
Yeah, it just went real quiet, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I tried F5, and it just like nope. So yeah, I closed it down. Had to pull Twitter back up on the web browser because apparently if I use the app, I can't copy links.
Right.
So, which also I had to exit out of Chrome because the Hangouts are the only thing I use Chrome for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had to pull up Twitter on the web browser, exit out of Chrome, open it back up, find the link.
I think
Did you use Hangouts for when you were on your phone?
Yeah.
Now, how did you get that to work?
I just have the Hangouts app on my phone.
Yeah, I have it on mine too, but it only does phone. It only does phone calls.
If you set it up on a PC, like set up the Hangouts live on PC, you can join it as a mobile. If you wanted to do everything from your mobile, it does have a minimum subscriber and watch time limit.
Oh, I got it.
Stupid.
Yeah, it is. So.
I just assumed that since my phone's 5 years old, it wouldn't let me do it.
It's fine so long as you're not the one that's starting it.
Well, I tried to join a stream with Johnny and I think Gabby one night when I was at work because it was really, really dead. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try and see if I can hop on for a little while. And it would just let me do like chat. It wouldn't let me do join the actual stream.
Gotcha.
But I kind of figured it was just because my phone's old. Like, I wasn't ever tempted to try Pokemon Go, but like somebody at was like, oh, come on, man, just give it a try. I was like, all right, well, watch this. I went to go try and download it. It's like, yeah, this phone is not compatible. I was like, see that?
It's like every game. Yeah.
Pokemon Go just didn't look like fun to me. It was like they took the least interesting part of Pokemon and made that the game.
Going outside.
Well, having an old phone actually, like I can't have some games on there. Like that's how I actually found the Total War franchise.
Oh, nice.
They had was it Total War 4? I think it was the European Wars.
Okay.
So I want to say it was it might have been something else, but yeah, it was that's what I would do. You know, I like my turn-based strategy games. So
yeah.
Which Monkey gave me advice on how to get 7 Days to Die back the way I wanted it, and since I haven't been playing it since they did the Alpha 17 update, I sat down this morning and tried to play a little bit on Alpha 16, and they still have the graphics update, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
But I realized that sitting there playing, I got to adjust the sensitivity or something because I got motion sickness so bad. just running around for like 5 minutes. I'm like, definitely gonna have to adjust something.
I'm just disappointed that a game called 7 Days to Die isn't based on The Ring. Like,
7 days.
I was so disappointed with that movie. It's like, this is not scary at all.
No.
Did you watch the American or the Japanese version?
I watched the American version.
Yeah, watch the Japanese version. It's really good.
I think the only like straight up Japanese movie I've actually watched was like Battle Royale.
Oh, Battle Royale is a great movie.
It is, indeed.
I say, I think it was on one of Cynical Lindsay's streams. I thought it was a Minions stream that Cynical Lindsay was on. I have the novelization because it was originally a novel and then it was made into a movie.
That was a Minions stream because I watched that one.
And so yeah, I actually do have the novel of Battle Royale.
Cool.
So.
Was the second one any good? I never got around to watching Battle Royale 2.
I've heard it's not. It's a lot more political intrigue, a lot less violence.
The violence was the whole reason I watched the first one.
Exactly.
And the guy who is in the first, one of the guys in the first one is the same guy who's in Death Note, I think.
Oh yeah, the main character is Light in the live-action Death Note.
Well,
Japanese Death Note, not Netflix.
I remember
douchebaggery.
Like my little sister, my baby sister, when she was in high school. Now there's a 7-year age gap between the two of us, and so I was crashing with my family after college, and she was reading the what was that series of books? The one they made in
Hunger Games.
That's the one. Yeah, I was gonna say the one they made into movies with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
And I've always had fairly good reading comprehension, and if I sit down and read a book, I can usually read a 400, 500, 600-page book in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit down and read it. And so she had to get like the trilogy of the Hunger Games, and they're reading it in her English class, which pissed me off, first of all.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're reading what? In English class?" So just to troll my baby sister, I sat down and read those books in like a day and a half. Because she was still reading like the first one, like she was reading along with her class, just doing like assignment work, which she liked the book, but I got the brains and the looks in my family, so so yeah, like she was in the middle of book one, and I read that one while she was asleep, one night. Like she was going to bed, I was like, "Hey, let me see that book." And by the time she woke up the next morning, I was like, "Here you go." It's like, "Oh, what chapter are you on, by the way?" And no. I asked her. I was like, "What chapter are you on, by the way?" She's like, "Oh, well, I'm on chapter, whatever number." I was like, "Oh, well, wait until 2 more chapters, man. Holy shit!" And I just did it to her for the whole series, for the because she comes home from class that day, and I'm already like 3/4 of the way through the second book, and she's pissed at this point. She's like, How do you?" I was like, "It's my day off. I didn't have anything else to do." She's like, "But how are you that far into the book?" I was like, "I sat down and read it." and I'd finished the book by dinner that night, book 2.
Yeah.
And started on the third one, and she by the time she went to bed that night, she just steam shooting out of her ears. Because
how are you able to read?
What is this reading you guys are talking about?
Well, I mean,
Sitting in England.
I've always been kind of a slacker, and I could read through like a school textbook once. I never really had to study for tests. Like if you give me a multiple choice test and you put it in English, I've got a great chance of passing, regardless of the subject. I was just really good at taking tests, and if I didn't have anything else to do, you put a book in my hand, yeah, I'll read it.
How's that Tosh joke go? Is I'm bad at taking tests. No, you're just stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the way it worked out was because I'm a slacker extraordinaire. We had standardized tests in school. I think it was like 3rd grade, 5th grade, 8th grade, and like you had to pass like the reading portion of the standardized tests in 8th grade to be able to go on to get your license later on, in high school. You wouldn't be able to qualify to get a learner's permit until you passed that test.
Huh, that's weird.
But my 5th grade standardized test comes around, and I hardly study for it. It was the only school year I had perfect attendance, and passed, just aced it. me and my best friend were like the two highest scores in our class. And when they came back, they said, well, my buddy had like ridiculous percentile score. Like they said he should have been like a freshman in college in the 5th grade, which ridiculous on its face, but that's standardized testing for you. Meanwhile, it said that I should have been at a 10th grade math level. I should have been a freshman in college on my reading comprehension. And I can't remember what the science reasoning score was, but it was, high school level, which, 5 years ahead of what my grade level was. And so my mom looks at these scores and she thinks, she's got a baby Einstein in her hands, right? So she goes to the principal of my school. She's like, is there any way we can get him bumped up a grade or two? I mean, freshman in college reading comprehension, really? And he just looks at like, yeah, his grades don't reflect that he should be, moved ahead. And I was just sitting there like, it's like, it's because I'm bored.
Effort needs to be shown.
What was that?
Like, effort needs to be shown.
Mm.
Mine was mostly just doing homework. And
yeah, exactly.
I was never really a fast reader. Like my book reports, like from like elementary school, were like Encyclopedia Brown type, choose your own adventure type books.
Mm-hmm.
And so my 4th grade teacher's like, all right, you need to do a book that'll challenge your reading. And so I picked Huckleberry Finn. And I made it through the first third of the book before the book report was due. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to bullshit my way through this report? And so I do this report, and I do a diorama. And when I read the book, I read through the first third, and then I picked a chapter. I read that, skipped a few chapters, read that one, skipped another few chapters, thinking, it'll explain itself. Didn't work.
No.
Do I need to have that spoiler alert out there? So the teacher's asking questions, and she's like, "Oh, he's doing really good at this." And I do this whole report, and I got a diorama of Huck holding this cat that they're gonna bury, because that's a part I remember in the book. And they're like, "Oh, does the class have any questions?" And I'm just like, "Please, no questions. Please, no questions." And she's like, "Okay, you can go." And then as soon as she's about to let me go sit down, this gal's like, "Oh, I got a question." And I'm like,
Fucking bitch!
I was like, I'm gonna hate you from now on, aren't I? And yeah, the one part of the book I didn't read is one part she asked me about, and I'm like, and I just totally BS'd my answer, and she's like, "You didn't read the book, did you?" And I'm like, parts.
Well, my thing was like, I would if we had any class reading assignments, like reading aloud when I was in grade school, I would always like read ahead on whatever page we were on, and then I would just dick around, just daydreaming until I got called, and just kind of passively listening, and then I would like scramble to find whatever paragraph we were at, and then I would start reading. But like I had one report that I had to do in front of the class, 7th grade, because that was my 7th grade geography class. That's one of only like 2 reports I remember giving, because it was 2001, and my geography report was due on Afghanistan. mind you, like I had pulled this assignment before the terrorist attacks.
Ah, okay.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh shit, man. I didn't even know where Afghanistan was at the time. It's just kind of like, random country out of a hat kind of deal. And so I was sitting there, like, kind of like Johnny's like, oh, how am I going to bullshit this? And then, one Tuesday morning, Afghanistan got a whole lot more interesting. I mean, I walked into my geography class like General Patton. I had maps. I had, okay, here are the major tribal affiliations. I mean, you would have thought I was a 7th grade CIA director, the amount of detail I put into that thing. And the best part was like we had different things we could do for our presentation, and one of them was we could make a test to give our classmates to make sure they were paying attention to us.
Oh, the one thing that every kid is waiting for: power over their students.
Oh God, yes, yeah. But the thing of it was, because we were literally going to war with this, everyone paid attention to what I had to say.
Yeah.
That's the first time, definitely not the last time, but the first time a bunch of those 7th graders ever heard about Pashtu or Urdu or, So it was hilarious because I brought in like the history of Afghanistan with the Soviet Union and the British, and it was some of my best work, which considering that was 18 years ago, probably shouldn't be hanging my hat on it.
So do you think they invaded Afghanistan just to help you out on your assignment?
Well, yeah, I know that's why I went to war there.
Camel's got a book report. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
We need boots on the ground stat. Some 7th graders got a geography report to do. Send in the Rangers. But it's really funny because like that was the first year that I was actually considered like a bad student. Like my sixth grade, I was a golden child. I was the youngest member of the academic team in my school. Yeah, it was supposed to be only for 7th and 8th graders, but they let 2 6th graders on the team just because we were like, just we knew extraneous bullshit facts. And I mean, that's what you want on the academic team, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my claim to fame there for a minute. I was the youngest member ever in the school's history until like the next year. Apparently, once they let us 2 in, they just opened the floodgates. But yeah, my 7th grade teacher hated me because she had came to our school wanting to be a 4th grade teacher. That's what she had been at her last school. And they're like, well, we have an opening for 7th grade, so we need you to teach 7th grade. And she came in with like the same attitude, like she was teaching 4th graders still.
Ah.
And even though, the age difference is ridiculously small now, when you're in 7th grade being talked to like you're a 4th grader, you're just sitting there in the back of your mind thinking, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. Fucking bitch.
Fucking moo.
But yeah, I got sent to the principal's office so many times that year because she did not like me.
My maths teacher hated me because she kept saying, you can't do this by brain power alone. You have to put the work in. And I didn't. And I still got like 85 plus on every exam. And so I was undermining her point just by existing. So she despised me. It did bite me in the ass when I got to university, and that doesn't work in university. Oh, hang on a sec.
I remember I drove my teachers crazy because I would sit there and I would write in pen, like even with my math homework.
Arrived.
Yeah, we had a music teacher who, I guess he went to a big music college and did all this stuff, and then he winds up in some backwoods town teaching, pretty much the little rascals how to play musical instruments. And he hated us so much that we actually had a meeting during recess, and we thought about changing the lyrics to Frosty the Snowman to sing at our Christmas concert to Chauncey the Blowman. And we had like the first verse of lyrics. It was pretty much how pretty much how he liked to stick his pipe up his ass. And yeah, it was like it was very blue for a fourth grade class.
It's fine.
And
Yeah,
then
see, like,
the state got involved. They had a meeting, a parent teacher meeting. They had the state people get involved. And
do they have you sit in a room and ask you, like, where on the doll did he touch you or something like that?
Yeah, not that kind of meeting, but it got to the point where he just stood up in the middle of the meeting because it was partially disciplinary because he'd been calling some of the kids retarded.
Oh,
as it turns out, and it got to the point where he stood up in the middle of the meeting and he goes, "Your kids are fucking ridiculous," and like, all the parents are just appalled.
You gave that man the nervous breakdown. How dare you, Johnny?
It was all over one kid.
Well, see, like when I was in grade school, like music teachers, and we had one. She thought I was ridiculously gifted because she would be playing music when we would come into the class, and sometimes, like I would catch the song before any lyrics were sang or anything. One day it was Rod Stewart she was playing, and first few notes of the song start playing. It's like, is that Rod Stewart? She goes, yeah, that is. And my mom was helping out in the cafeteria at the time, and the teacher knew this, and she went and just talked my mother's ear off, saying, how great of an ear for music I had. And my mom comes to me, she's like, what is this woman talking about? I was like, oh, you know how they have those late night infomercials? They had one for like Rod Stewart's greatest hits, and that was one of the songs that they played a snippet of. And she's like, wait, how late night of an infomercial was this? I was like, never mind. But
it was scrambled Skinamax night.
Yeah. I had a habit of telling on myself without realizing it until it was too late as a kid. And that's when I realized that I would never be a Jedi because I could never get the mind trick to work right. You did not hear what you just heard, But it wasn't until I got to high school that I realized that music just wasn't for me, because we had a music director at my high school who she had some bullshit PhD and insisted on being addressed as doctor.
Oh God.
Yeah, if you called her Mrs., she would try and get you detention for being disrespectful.
It's funny. I had a biology teacher in high school that was a doctor, and no one ever used, an honorific for him.
Well, my debate coach had his doctorate in, I can't remember, I think it was English, and he said the best advice he received upon completing his doctorate was one of his professors told him, "Do yourself a favor, put a bucket on your head, and just say, doctor, insert your name here until you get sick of it, and then don't ever refer to yourself as that again unless it's called for." And my debate coach, he's a fairly cool dude, Apparently that advice worked for him. Nobody told that to our music director though, because you would have thought she had that doctorate wedged firmly up her ass, as tight as she was with it.
My brother is a doctor. He's got a doctorate in physics, and he's remained humble because the very first thing that he did when he got his his certificate is he scans it and puts it up on Facebook upside down. Good one, doctor.
Of engineering, nonetheless.
Yeah, right?
Well,
no, physics. You said physics,
you
didn't
don't
you?
have to be smart to be a doctor.
Yes, I'm sorry for insulting him by calling him an engineer.
Well, he was an engineer for a good couple of years before he got the Air Force to pay for his schooling. So,
well, at least it wasn't in communications.
Yeah, right.
I changed my major so many times when I was in college, and I think I went from I got a theater scholarship, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll try theater. I got a buddy who moved out to Los Angeles, and he was getting some acting roles. He didn't get any credited roles, but he was getting roles on TV shows and other stuff. I would see him. It was kind of like a Where's Waldo. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm in such and such movie. I'm on such and such TV show." And I was like, well, I'll try that. I enjoy performing, which I found out after like a semester of being a theater major. I enjoy acting. I hate acting class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cringy because like they had one exercise where they were having us act like inanimate objects. And I was told to act like an orange.
What?
So I just sat down on the stage, like curled up in a ball and just like sat there, just stared at him.
I had a girlfriend that was going to school for acting like that, and she had one of those sort of ridiculous scenarios that she had to act out. I'm sitting there going like, you have way more fortitude than I do, because if I were to have gotten that prompt, I'd have been like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
Well, I mean, I was just I was sitting there just like, how the fuck does a person act like an orange? And so I just instinctively I sat down, drew my legs up, with my arms around them and just stared at them. And apparently that was the right call. And that's when I was like, no.
If it had happened in the last few years, you could have just impersonated Donald Trump.
Yeah. Whoa, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah. I can't do a Trump impression. I'm not even gonna try. I thought about doing it for a second. I was like, nope.
I have the biggest stakes. No one has bigger stakes than me. You wouldn't believe it. They're huge.
Yeah. I got the best oranges. They're huge.
You're
Gonna build a wall of oranges.
But no, that's when I realized, because like they did a few things I thought were actually kind of cool. Like we were doing a musical, and the music director at the college for this musical, she had us running laps around the theater singing the songs.
Okay.
And I was like, and I realized, like how much work singing actually is when you're doing it at a jog.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, I can see where this is going. Cool. and I enjoyed the stagecraft, actually building the sets. But yeah, anytime I had to sit through an acting class or theater appreciation, because like I said, I came from a small town. The one actual like stage production I saw was, I think, the Oklahoma City Opera did Carmen.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I fell asleep through like the middle of Act 1. I was like, yeah, it's a pretty chick singing in Spanish. The lights are dimmed and just. And I woke up. Some one of my classmates was poking me in the shoulder, like, "Hey, wake up!" I'm like, what? Huh? She's like, "Yeah, it's over. We're going home now." All right, cool. I was like, "Hey, I got class credit for it." But so like every time they started talking about theater, I was always trying to bring it back to like movies, because like I grew up on movies.
Yeah. And the only play I've ever seen is Spamalot, the Monty Python one.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the original cast one, or
No, it's just a Melbourne, and I don't know who the actors were. Don't remember any of them, but yeah, it's just I heard about it. And yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah, I saw Spamalot at was it Broadway in Chicago, with the original cast. So it was David Hyde Pierce and Hank Azaria, and then Tim Curry.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a really fucking good show.
Yeah,
the best is when Tim Curry started singing "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life." When he comes in, it's always look on the bright side of death.
Yeah. Yeah, these were just local nobodies. I couldn't tell you a single actor who performed that night. No one famous.
Well, it was always funny to me because you had our theater director. She was really big on theater, which I understand it's a theater program, but like I had read plays. I read Shakespeare in high school and everything. I really liked Julius Caesar. Hated Romeo and Juliet.
Me too. Yeah, I liked Hamlet.
We never got to Hamlet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Romeo and Juliet. We covered that one my freshman year, which my freshman English teacher, she was kind of cool because a lot of the works that we covered, she would also play movies. Have like a movie day. Where we would watch, but when we did Romeo and Juliet, she did the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard to take him seriously, speaking Shakespearean English with, was it Claire Danes?
I think so.
And John Leguizamo. Oh my God.
Yeah, John Leguizamo's in that.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb at thee, sir.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hamlet, but I have seen The Lion King, which is apparently close enough.
and they're pulling out pistols and it says sword on the side of it. It's like, oh, come on.
Well, who was the director of that movie? Hold on.
Wasn't it?
Oh shit, I don't remember now.
He is the embodiment of fucking pretentiousness. Here we go. Oh no, it's 1968. That's definitely not the right one.
But anyway, we started off with that one, and I was just like, oh, God, you just kill me now. And then we moved on to, I can't remember if we did Frankenstein or if we did To Kill a Mockingbird first after that. But again, we watched the To Kill a Mockingbird movie with Gregory Peck. And if I'm not mistaken, a very young Robert Duvall playing Boo Radley.
That sounds right. I think you're right.
And of course, my movie geekdom was like, oh, hey, is that's Robert Duvall? And a bunch of other 14-year-olds like, who?
Yeah, right.
And my English teacher, she managed to save my perception of her once we did Frankenstein. because I really hated the book. I really did. You know.
Yeah. The book is very slow.
Well, also, like I envied the monster. I was like, dude, you're like 7 feet tall. You learned French in what, a week?
Yeah, right.
Fuck you, man. So what? You're ugly. You know, get over it. But no, the movie she picked for Frankenstein was Young Frankenstein.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Baz Luhrmann. And yes, it was Claire Danes was Juliet.
So I was right. It was Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann. Fucking that dude just like he embodies pretentiousness. He is pretentiousness.
but I mean, since I'm a fairly tall dude, I would always be stuck in the back of the class. You know, just so that way, you know, people would see past my fat head. So Young Frankenstein, she puts that in, and you know, as soon as like the credits start rolling for the beginning of the movie, I was like, "Oh shit, I know every line of this movie."
Knockers was Doctor.
Would you care for a roll in the hay? Roll in the hay. Frau Blucher.
I can't do a horse neighing. So.
Put the candle back.
I'm gonna have to call it.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize what time it is.
It's only 37 minutes late. But yeah, thanks everyone for showing up.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It's always fun.
I want to try and get something like a Quiplash stream going on whenever we get something like this, if we get enough people.
Sure.
I am always happy to play Quick Flash.
Agreed.
I'm gonna have to buy that then, aren't I?
No, you don't.
No. Oh, okay, cool.
No, only one person has to buy it, and then it's internet based from there.
Well, then I will be more than happy to freeload.
Yeah.
That's great.
The less money that people have to spend, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can get enough people to do it, then yeah, that'd be no problem doing a Quiplash stream on here. But I think would it be easier to go through something like Streamlabs or OBS for that, or would Hangouts work?
I can get together with you and show you how to use OBS if you wanted to like even spruce up these live streams. So it's not just transmitting on the Google Hangouts. Like if you wanted to do like what I do on the paint streams with videos and stuff.
The best Jackbox games I've ever played have been on Hangouts because it gets rid of the lag almost completely. Because normally when I'm playing, there's like a 5-10 second delay between what the game thinks is happening and what everyone is seeing. If everyone's in the same hangout, that is almost eliminated. That's how Jack Gunsky did it.
Yeah, if you just screen share and show your but that's only for the people like on the panel that are playing. Like if chat wants to get involved with it, there's still going to be a slight delay. OBS delay is like up to 10 seconds. So.
Oh, Johnny, by the way, I love the updated stream title. Just saying.
Yeah.
Native bros. We was Indians and shit.
Well, when I saw that, that's why I didn't ask for a link, because I thought, okay, they want an Indian themed. No, I'm not an Indian or a native, so okay, I'll just watch. But
I figured we were the only native ones here.
Well, I mean, Hayes.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, and I didn't know if Quiz was. I never asked him.
I'm American.
I don't. Variety.
Well, I mean,
I was born and raised here. I'm American.
Yeah. Technically, we're all indigenous to America. I mean,
yeah, it was because of the what was it, Indianz.com.
I think I'm gonna have fun with that going forward. Now that I found it.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I don't know how often they update it, but I will be checking back.
It's like someone like Mustafa checking out the route.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's quite on par with the root, but nonetheless,
The root is the best.
No, the last root article that I read was that actually it's the first and last one that I read was Bird Box being a metaphor for white people not seeing racism.
Yeah, that was a classic.
If I'm gonna actually pay attention to the root, I only have enough attention span for Michael Harriot.
What about the Very Smart Brothers?
Since Scribe always seems to pick up Michael Harriot articles from the root.
What about the Very Smart Brothers?
I've only heard a couple of articles that they did, and that's only because of Lords of the Night. So
I think the Very Smart Brothers were the ones who did the 10 Black Star Wars characters from memory.
Yeah, and one of them being the Force.
Yeah.
Don't forget Chewbacca.
But the Force was the number one black character in Star Wars. It wasn't just on the list; it was number one.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. I'm gonna grab me a bite to eat and take a nap before work tonight. So
yeah, I gotta get a nap in. I'm starting to fade out. So
yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Yeah, later, everybody.
I'll have to bring up that article for comic book curation just for Polydub.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because his love of Ruffalo.
Yeah, all things Ruffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely DM him it.
All right. Well, yeah. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching and chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys have a good night.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.